For many schools, the journey to Omaha is the destination. But for the rabid LSU fans who are so accustomed to championships, the journey here is just not enough. LSU and South Carolina, the loser makes the long trip home.
A little tap on the third base side. Booth got it. Throw to first. And LSU has won the national championship.
And the Tigers of LSU have won the national championship.
Now Warren Morris. It's a deep drive down the right field line. That ball is gone. LSU wins the College World Series.
Strike three call. The Tigers of LSU have won back-to-back national championships.
Here comes the throw from the outfield. He will slide in safely. And LSU has won their fifth NCAA championship.
But what have you done for me lately? Asked the throngs of Tiger faithful. Smoke Laval is 0-3 in Omaha since taking over for the Skip. Conference rival South Carolina is also shocked to find itself just one game from a ticket home. It's already SECU later for one squad today. Warmest, windiest day yet. Day 4 of the 2004 College World Series at Rosenblatt Stadium. And our second elimination game. Someone will leave from the Southeastern Conference today. Will it be the Gamecocks of Carolina or the Tigers of LSU? Yesterday, the Arkansas Razorbacks became the first team to get their ticket home. Arizona sent them, and they now get ready for Georgia. Texas is 2-0 and one win away from a berth in the best-of-3 championship series. In this bracket, Miami takes on Cal State Fullerton here on ESPN2 tonight at 7 Eastern. Welcome back to Omaha. Dave Barnett, Jeff Brantley. Well, when this tournament started back on Friday, SEC smiles were very much in order because they had, after all, supplied half the field for this year's College World Series. Well, now one is already gone. After this game, 2 will be gone. And those smiles, Jeff, look more like worried grimaces at this point.
Well, they are worried grimaces, and both of these clubs are definitely worried. You look at South Carolina, every time they come to the World Series, they have a difficult time scoring runs, especially in that first ball game. But they seem to be able to make a comeback, and the comeback today has got to be led by Landon Powell. He's the leader of this ball club. He's the number 4 hitter. This guy, I watched him in BP today. He was launching him out of the ballpark in right field, and he's a right-handed hitter. He's going to be the key for them to have the offense today.
As far as the Tigers are concerned, 2 numbers mean everything. They're 5 national championships, which we just showed you, a very dominant program in the decade of the 90s. But the other number is 3, as in 0-3, their record under Smoke Laval here the last 2 years.
Well, last year was the first time that LSU came to the College World Series and lost 2 games and went home. They're in big danger right now of that happening again. And we all know the LSU faithful, they are not going to put up with that. Yes, there is pressure on Smoke Laval, but there's pressure on this ball club. They've got to play well today.
And they call on their damaged former ace, the starter today, Lane Mestepe, off a complete game shutout against Texas A&M in the Super Regional Final. And then a moment the Tigers wish they could have back. Kyle Peterson will explain, and we'll have our first pitch when we come back.
On the job site, I have to take on all the tough jobs and get them done right. So I use more than a tool. I use the RotoZip spiral saw system. Cuts plywood, cuts drywall, cuts countertops, tile, almost anything with quick, clean cuts every time. And with the all-new features, the original RotoZip just got tougher. RotoZip, tough enough to tackle any job.
Where you go in life is up to you. There's one airline that can take you there, United. It's time to fly.
NCAA Championships on ESPN2. The College World Series is brought to you by the all-new RotoZip Spiral Saw System. Tough enough to tackle any job. And United.
Should be a day for the hitters today with the wind kicking up. Temperatures expected to hit the mid-70s, and the third member of our crew, Kyle Peterson, joins us now. Kyle, why did Lane Mestepe not start the first game for LSU in this College World Series?
Yeah, guys, a scary moment for LSU. I mean, Mestepe really one of the emotional leaders of this ball club. A great season for him, and really pitched him to the College World Series with a complete game victory over A&M in the Super Regional. But it was after where LSU fans got a little bit worried. Mestepe in total control this entire ball game, a complete game shutout, 16 ground ball outs, something the Tiger faithful are hoping they see plenty of today. But right afterwards here is where we're going to see the problem start. Watch Mestepe end up on the bottom of this pile. Now remember, he missed all year last year with a shoulder injury. He had shoulder surgery back this year. It is bruised. I talked to pitching coach Brady Wiederhold on the way in. He said he's okay, no problem so far, so it's all a go from the Tiger side. Guys?
Yeah, that was a 5-hitter. Third complete game of this season. And as impressive as those numbers are, for him, they're a notch down from 01-02 when he was the unquestioned ace. And then took off all of 2003 because of shoulder surgery. Here's the lineup for Ray Tanner. Little change at the top. Ryan Triplett and Stephen Tollison exchange 1 and 2. And then they'll get to the power 20 home run man Steve Pearce, senior All-America catcher Landon Powell, still looking for his stroke here in Omaha. Kevin Melillo, followed by Brendan Wynn, 18 more home runs out of their right fielder. And then the left fielder Michael Campbell, Nick Gardner the DH, and batting ninth is the center fielder, really like a second leadoff man for them, Davey Gregg. If South Carolina, Jeff, behaves the way they have previous to this season in Omaha after losing the opener, everything's going to be fine.
Well, they've just got to come out and put some things together early. We talked with Ray Tanner about trying to make something happen early in this ball game, and they've got to do that against Mestepe. If they get an early lead, I think that their team will relax a little bit and they'll swing the bats the way they normally do.
Triplett senior fouls that one back off the roof. Triplett leading off for the first time since May 9th in a game against Auburn, but not a brand new role to him at all. The 17th time he's done it this year. Just a little hunch that Tanner says he got it. It pays off as Triplett bounces one past Clay Harris, and the Gamecocks have a leadoff single.
Well, you're exactly right, Dave. The hunch does pay off. Trying to get somebody on base, and normally you're going to see South Carolina playing for the big inning, trying to get that 3-run home run. But in this ballpark today, I don't think anything is going out of left field. We may see a shot out of right, but I think we're going to see a bunt or a hit and run early in this ball game by Tanner.
And Stephen Tollison squares to bunt. Tollison spent over a month on the disabled list. Sophomore from Spartanburg is the son of former major leaguer Wayne Tollison. Well, he came back and announced his health real quickly. April 25th, first game back against Alabama. His 10th inning single won the game. The game's only RBI, 1-0. He's been just fine ever since then. 313 hitter. And takes high. Bob Homolka is the home plate umpire this afternoon, with Scott Graham at first, David Rogers at second, and Paul Guillet at third.
Well, you can see right off the bat, Tollison showing bunt on both of the first 2 pitches from Mestepe.
Fouls that one back. 2 balls and a strike.
Now, Dave, in my mind right here, if you're trying to sacrifice bunt, You've got to square around, and you're sacrificing yourself. This is not a drag bunt situation. This is not a bunt for a hit. You get the bat out in front, and you make sure you catch the ball with the bat and get the ball on the ground.
Gamecock 1 through 5 hitters were just completely nullified in the complete game 14 strikeout masterpiece against them, thrown by Jason Windsor of Cal State Fullerton. This bunt by Tolleson is a good one, and it does the job. Triplett is in scoring position. Tanner going a little bit against what he normally likes to. Not a big fan of the bunt, but he wants a quick run here.
Well, you see Tolleson gets around a little bit earlier than he did on the pitch that he popped up, trying to make sure that he gets the ball down on the ground, right to the third baseman. There's no other play than to first base.
He has already announced the importance of just getting any run early after this long string they're now working on of shutout opening round frustration here in Omaha. It dates back to the last 2 innings of their game in 1982 here. They were shut out in 14 innings by Arkansas in the last 2 trips here. 02 and 03 also opening game whitewash jobs, and then the same thing happened to him 2 days ago.
I think the biggest thing that Ray Tanner's trying to do early in this ball game, especially in this first inning, is just get a run on the board. I think it'll make his club relax, make them understand, yes, we can score runs, and that takes a lot of pressure off of everybody 1 through 9.
1-2 to Pierce, junior from Lakeland, Florida, out of Indian River Community College. Well represented. A psychology major. So much of the situation these two find themselves in today is psychological in nature, which we'll discuss. Pierce may know that better than any. And Liuza handles that one in the dirt, and it's 2-2.
Well, because of the way that Mestapay throws, he's not a high velocity pitcher. He's really going to work away from these right-handed South Carolina hitters. They're going to have to stay back. They're going to have to be very patient, and they're going to have to try to drive the ball the other way, into right field, up the middle, in order to make contact, because Mestapay is going to keep the ball away from him the majority of the time.
Bouncer through right to the middle, and Triplett will come home at last. South Carolina has a run here in Omaha, and the dugout empties to honor the occasion.
You can see this pitch. Mestapay keeps the ball down, but the ball is in the middle of the plate. The velocity that he's throwing today is going to be very difficult for him to keep any ball in the middle of the plate, especially against this South Carolina club.
So after going 43 innings in opening round action here in Omaha, scoreless in all those opening games, takes them 1/3 of an inning to get on the board here. Landon Powell, All-America catcher, senior, Apex, North Carolina, first-round draft pick of the Oakland A's. And with 19 home runs, he and Pierce really stood out when the 1 through 5 hitters went 0 for 19 against Fullerton with 10 strikeouts. It's that kind of dominant performance by Jason Windsor. And in fact, as we talk about this opening game streak, consider that they are up against an ace every time they come here in those opening game matchups. So in some ways, it's not surprising that they struggle. It's surprising that they struggle as much as they do. Powell with the bouncer to Harris. Gets Pierce down to second, and with 2 outs, Kevin Melillo will try and keep the first inning going.
Landon Powell has got to do something to take the pressure off of himself. The only way he's going to be able to do that is to be as patient as possible and try to drive the ball the other way. He's got enough power to hit the ball out of anywhere in this ballpark. He's just trying a little bit too hard, and I think that's the reason he's struggling.
Landon now 1 for 25 in the postseason. Melillo, junior, Longwood, Florida, second baseman, business administration major, and another A's draft pick. The A's and the Kansas City Royals, more than any other major league franchises, showed a lot of interest in these 8 schools have made it to Omaha this year. So Mestepe, who threw the shutout in the Super Regional Final, sees his hopes of repeating that last 1 out. 2-0 pitch. Melillo swinging toward the gap, left center field. Long run, and the left fielder Ryan Patterson gets there. But the lineup switch works very well for Ray Tanner as the new leadoff hitter triplet singles and comes home on the Pierce RBI single. Well, since the 10-game winning streak ended the other day, so did the mustache that Melillo had grown to get the team emotionally settled. And Ray Tanner is not normally one to allow any facial hair, but since they were winning every single game since he grew the thing, he was going to allow it, obviously, until finally the magic wore off.
I guess that's what you call superstition.
Not the only superstition we've encountered here.
Well, every ball player, it's assumed that you have superstition. I myself, I never had any superstition. I didn't step on the line simply because I didn't want to get lime on my shoe.
Sure.
And I was very comfortable with a T-shirt that I like to wear on the days that I was pitching. So that was very comfortable for me. But it had nothing to do with superstition.
Absolutely not.
Oh no. Never.
Kyle Peterson, you're not the superstitious type, surely. As a rational Stanford man, you're above that sort of thing, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I wore the same hat all year, regardless of fit, size, look, simply because I just liked the way it felt on the top of my head. I don't have any reason outside of that. I think that whole superstition thing is overblown.
It's strictly a comfort issue, right?
Yeah, see it right there. I mean, you see how well it fit. Why would you get a new hat if it still fits, you know?
Look at that hat.
All right. What's your explanation for the glasses, then?
Well, the glasses was just kind of a bad choice. But the hat itself, no superstition. The glasses have shrunk a little since then. But, we've all got them. A lot of times we don't like to talk about it, but it is that same thing we were talking about Kevin Melillo. If it works, stay with it. If it doesn't, it's time to try something else.
Smoke Laval will go with largely the usual lineup. J.C. Holt leading off, and then followed by Ryan Patterson. 4 juniors at the top of his lineup. Blake Gill hitting third. John Zarang, all SEC again, and a cleanup. And then Ivan Nakarada, the senior from Quebec. Nick Stavinaugh, DHs. And then the first sophomore out of only 2 they start, Liuza, followed by the Harris brothers. Clay, the junior from Slidell, Louisiana, and the sophomore Will. Aaron Rawl, definitely accustomed to his surroundings here in Rosenblatt Stadium. Junior from Lexington, South Carolina, has pitched in each of the last 2 College World Series and pitched well. 2 years ago, he beat Georgia Tech. They had enough confidence in him as a freshman to give him the start in the championship game, which he lost to Texas. He came back last year and takes a 12-4 record in this year. Big swing and a miss by Holt, junior from Seeper, Louisiana, management major, Braves 3rd-round draft pick.
Well, I know that Ray Tanner really likes to have Aaron Rawl on the mound simply because the players play behind him much better because he's so aggressive. He throws a lot of strikes. He tries to get them on and off the field as quickly as possible.
Likes to work quickly, and already Holt stepping out on him a bit. Almost a 400 hitter. And JC very dangerous when he gets on. 20 out of 22 stolen base attempts. And a 462 on base percentage. Both those numbers are the best the Tigers have. Two and 2. Aaron Rawl, a winner in the regular season matchup in Columbia between these 2. That was 3 months ago, but LSU in that series was able to end Carolina's 18-0 start. Now, since it was 3 months ago, does it matter at all today?
I think it matters that they're both from the Southeastern Conference, and one of them doesn't want to go home, especially after having 4 clubs here. And you mentioned that earlier. The last thing that you want to do is get knocked out of the tournament by somebody that you're used to playing, and you're going to have to face him again. It's almost like losing to your brother in checkers.
Holt works the full count, works a walk. So the leadoff man reaches for each here in the first. Bad enough to lose. Much worse to have to hear about it again the next year. Ray Tanner has taken teams out of the losers bracket to within 1 game's reach of a national championship. Ryan Patterson, the left fielder out of Rowlett, Texas, junior. Spent a year at Texarkana Junior College after being drafted 34th by the Braves 2 years ago. 2-time All-SEC. First team selection last year. Ball comes back strong from the walk. Hopefully ahead 0-2. As they usually are, regardless of the sport, LSU fans, the most free-form dressers that you see. Whether it's Tiger Stadium.
That was very politically correct.
Uninhibited in their choice of apparel.
They come to have a good time.
Patterson can have a lot to do with giving them a good time here in the first inning by advancing Holt. That hat actually comes in very handy today. Overcast yesterday. It's the windiest it's been. Should help drives like this to right field, and it sends Davy Gregg almost all the way to the track before he catches up to that drive, and Patterson is out number 1.
We're going to see some balls that are going to be hit to right center field and down the right field line that are going to look like they're pop-ups, and they're going to get out of the ballpark. This wind is blowing exactly from the left field foul pole across and out of right field. And anything that's hit hard or hit on the nose that way just might get out of here.
Remember, Holt 20 out of 22 on the base paths. Well, has to worry about him as well as Blake Gill. Gill, the junior from Bradenton, Florida, most outstanding player in the regional round at Baton Rouge at .455, drove in 7 runs in those 3 games. Working on a 14-game hitting streak. 1 for 4 Saturday, and this streak now the longest of his career. Bill moving over from second base, where he played most of last year, to shortstop this year. Takes 2-0. LSU with 4 300 hitters to begin their order. The top hitting team in the Southeastern Conference this year. Team average is .332 as of today. Second most home runs in the league, 79. There goes Holt. There goes Powell's throw. Bounces in. 87. JCS is 21st stolen base. And he just did it against the first team All-America catcher.
Well, Tollison looked like he was late getting to the bag. The ball was up. Powell got rid of it in a hurry. And you can see Tollison was definitely late getting to the bag. As a catcher, you're taught to throw the ball right over the bag, but it's a whole lot easier when the shortstop's standing there.
So Landon has his hitting to worry about, and now he's got the running game of LSU to worry about. Outstanding. That doesn't even begin to describe Gill with runners in this position this year. 437, but he pops this one up short left. Michael Campbell has the second out. Aaron Roll fought back nicely from behind him and counted that count. He has not walked more than 2 batters in any game this year. That's happened only 3 times. And just a total of 16 walks in 18 starts.
Well, when you talk to Ray Tanner about Aaron Roll, he has nothing but praise about this young man, because he says he doesn't have the best stuff on the staff, but he's going to challenge it and he's not going to be afraid.
John Zarang sends one down the right field line, and it is a foul ball. A little too much slice on it right in front of the 335 marker. That right field foul pole looming. Zarang, first team All-America. Quite a matchup here with 2 outs. LSU with the tying run here in the first in scoring position. The SEC Co-Player of the Year with Ole Miss's Stephen Head. 2nd round draft pick of the Diamondbacks. 3rd in the SEC in batting this year. 384 coming in today. Behind 0-2.
And you can see Aaron Roll, even though those were 2 fastballs, one of them was down and away, and then that pitch was up, changed the eye level of John Zarang. You know, with Landon Powell behind the plate, never have to worry about throwing a breaking ball and getting by this young man.
By the outside corner, and early on you have to measure that. If you're Roll or Mestepe, where is Bob Homolka going to cut off his strike zone, the outside part of the plate, right? And you hope that it's going to be 2-3 inches wider than apparently.
Well, you'd like,
just found out.
You would like that, but that pitch was just a little bit off the corner away, and not going to get that strike today.
1-2, right to your right. You didn't even move for it. You have all of these mitts and gloves right behind you. You didn't even reach.
I didn't see the ball.
You don't want the foul ball. I'll gladly take it.
How fast am I going to be able to grab that glove and put it on and catch something?
Why
up
don't
here?
you sit here and
you hold it? There you go. I'll put it on my hand. You just want me to protect you is the deal.
That'd be nice too. This one playable. And Triplett gives way to Tollison. Roll fights back from the leadoff walk. 2 fly balls and a pop-up. And it is 1-0 Carolina after 1.
The Tuesday night poker game is back, and this time it's for $5 million.
Passing out $100 bills, and in this town ain't never gonna be the same.
An incredible knockout blow. The highest stakes, the world's best players, and the unrivaled coverage of ESPN. The 2004 World Series of Poker. All new episodes begin Tuesday, July 6th at 9.
Dad, that's clean.
That's good, huh? You know that's hot.
Yes, sir. Check the big boy out. Navigation system. Clever. D. See that? Hit that. Oh, huh? That's hot. I scored. You look good in the car. For sure. I look good in this, I think. You do. So tonight, I think you should let me get the keys. No way.
No. Now get $5,000 cash back when you purchase a Lincoln Navigator or lease one for just $549 a month. Travel well.
Will my car be ready this afternoon like you promised?
Yes.
Will you use a bunch of lingo I won't understand?
No.
Will you try to sell me something I really don't need?
No.
Do you like Broadway show tunes?
No.
Trust the Midas touch.
Another gorgeous view courtesy of the Monster.com cam. On the dome at the Henry Dorley Zoo, overlooking right field, peering right inside Rosenblatt Stadium. Omaha, Dave Barnett, Jeff Brantley, and Kyle Peterson on win-or-go-home day for either South Carolina or LSU. That's how we get that view up there. Brendan Wynn, the batter, to begin the 2nd inning. Carolina getting a couple of singles in the first, sacrifice in between. And now the junior out of Indian Harbor, Florida, will try and get the second started against Mestepe. Win out of St. Petersburg Community College. 38th round pick by the Mets out of high school, and a 21st rounder 2 years later. Creeping up in the estimation of the Major League scouts.
Well, that's the first ball that I've seen Mesteve come in on any of these hitters, trying to go back with a changeup away right after that.
Carolina has in their lineup up and down is balance of power. They have, as Wynn strikes out, Wynn with 18 homers, and he's just third best on the team behind Powell and Pierce. Right behind him now we'll see Michael Campbell, who has hit 14 out. They have 4 starters with at least 14 home runs and 6 with at least 7. So as opposed to a lot of the teams here who, if they don't get it from 1 or 2 guys in the lineup, they're not going to get the long ball. Mesteve or whoever may follow him really can't relax at any point in this Carolina order. Sophomore out of Winchester, Virginia, lines one to left, and that's a base hit. Already the third served up by Mesteve.
Well, that's the way you've got to hit Mesteve right there, not the way that Brendan Wynn did. You've got to be able to stay behind the ball and drive the ball the other way. We saw Brendan Wynn pull off of a changeup that was almost 4 or 5 inches outside, and then you see Michael Campbell right there stay right with that ball and just flip it out into left field. That's the way you hit a guy that's changing speeds and throwing a lot of changeups.
So here's Nick Gardner, the DH. After being 3 hit by Jason Windsor, they already have 3 in an inning and a third today. The senior from San Jose stayed in town to go to San Jose City College before transferring across the country. Gardner only used in about a third of the Gamecocks games this year. This is his 19th, just his 6th start. And he takes low, 1-1.
I think Gardner is one of those guys, when Ray Tanner is watching BP, he checks out Gardner, sees how he's swinging the bat. If he's hitting the bat on the hitting the ball on the nose, and it looks like he feels good at the plate, that's when Gardner gets inserted into the lineup in that DH spot.
There goes Campbell. The throw is waiting for him. Matt Liuzza guns down Campbell, and there are 2 out.
Well, you
Could he have gotten a worse jump?
You can see the leg kick, and he's dead in meat. If you're going back to first, you can forget about running.
Ray Harris cutting in front of the shortstop. Gilliam gets it to Brother Will in time to get Gardner. And at the bottom of the second now, LSU maintains the 1-0 Carolina margin.
Saab 92X. The road seems a whole lot stickier. Tenacious all-wheel drive handling. Road blistering performance. And unlimited servings of G-force. The all-new, all-wheel drive Saab 92X. Starting under $23,000 MSRP.
Breakfast variety. Sonic's got it, others don't. Stop by Sonic this morning and start your day off with any of our delicious one-of-a-kind breakfast items. And make Sonic your morning drink stop, where you'll find thousands of drink flavor combinations. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Rain-X Car Wax not only shines your car, it protects it from Mother Nature. In fact, there's nothing Mother Nature can do to harm it. Well, almost nothing. Rain-X repels rain, dirt, and absorbs UV rays. Rain-X, protection you can see.
Dave Barnett, Jeff Brantley, along with Kyle Peterson. Game 7, elimination game 2 in the 2004 College World Series. 55 years now, Omaha has been the host city. Aaron Rahl, a part of the last 3 College World Series. Starter against Texas as a freshman, lasted only 3 1/3, and gave up 5 hits and 3 runs against a Texas team that simply that day was not going to be denied. But, you know, as a freshman to last 3 1/3 actually wasn't a bad achievement in itself. First ball swinging. Ivan Nakarada may be playable. Powell with the mouthstop has it. 1 pitch and 1 out in the second.
This is what you've got to love about Aaron Rahl. He's coming, he takes the ball, he's challenging the hitters, throwing strike 1. Anytime as a pitcher, I don't care what kind of stuff you got, if you can get ahead in the count and make guys swing early, you're going to have a lot better chance of having success.
Starts off Nick Stavanaugh, the DH, with a breaking ball strike. Junior from Houston, former long snapper for the Houston Cougar football team. 2-time junior college All-America at San Jacinto Junior College in Houston. Last year around this time playing in the Junior College National Championship game. 1-2. I guess the highest praise an opposing coach can give the other guy's pitcher. Smoke Val gave that to Aaron Rahl today. So he'd pitch for me anytime. Just a bulldog mentality.
Well, he works quick and he throws a lot of strikes, and as we've already seen, he can throw both breaking ball and fastball for strikes.
Now runs the count full, 3-2.
Trying to get Stavanaugh to swing at that high fastball after getting ahead with 2 curveballs for a strike.
We'll come to him again. Wonder how good Rahl might be after, as Vidal put it, he lost that fight with the dugout. That can be hazardous to a pitcher.
Yeah, when you punch concrete, that doesn't really do good for your hand.
A pop-up machine here in these first 2 innings, making the call, the second baseman Melillo. And after walking the leadoff hitter Holt, fly to center, fly to left, pop to short. Foul pop to the catcher, pop to the second baseman. Nothing on the ground yet.
Well, when you watch Aaron Rahl throw the ball, he's coming straight over the top, and he's got some great ride to the ball when the ball comes to the plate. That's why you see that 12-6 curveball. That ball's breaking straight down, and then he rides that fastball right off the top of that breaking ball. Very difficult to judge between the two.
Here's one, and it makes center field. A 2-out single by the catcher, Matt Liuzza. First hit of the day for the Tigers.
And you see Liuzza here. All he's trying to do is drive the ball right back up the middle and drive the ball the other way. Liuzza is a guy that's not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. All he's trying to do is put the ball in play with the correct swing, and that's why he gets a base hit on that pitch right there.
Coming into Omaha, he was the Tigers' top postseason hitter. 500. 8 for 16. He was 0 for 3 Saturday. Junior Clay Harris, the older of the Harris brothers, with Will now in the on-deck circle. From Slidell, Louisiana, Clay, 2-time All-SEC. In that super regional clincher, shutout thrown by Mestepe. Harris had the key swing of the bat. Sacrifice fly to break a scoreless tie in the ninth. Will then followed and put it away with a 3-run homer. So they both can stake a claim to providing the offense in the biggest game of the year until coming here to Omaha. And Harris bangs one to left. Back-to-back base hits with 2 out. Can Will keep it going?
Brian Triplett has got to knock that ball down there. It looked like even though that ball looked like it was hit hard, that ball wasn't hit that hard. It looked like he backed up just a little bit, and when you back up from the baseball instead of getting yourself in front of it, you're going to have a tough time getting the glove.
Liuzza at second after his single. Harris singles to bring up Will Harris. And the sophomore first baseman taking a breaking ball strike. That regular season series in Columbia, where the Tigers became the first team to beat Carolina after their 18-0 start. Very important for Will, and he makes it 3 singles in a row. Liuzza being held at third as Brendan Wynn gets the ball in quickly enough that had Liuzza come home, he would have been an easy out.
You can see Wynn charging this ball right off the bat. As Will Harris, all he tries to do is just take the ball the other way. 2-out rally, and if Liuzza is not a catcher, I've got to believe he's scoring on this play right here.
Yogi Autry, third base coach, with that in mind, put up the brakes. And a 2-out rally from the bottom 3 in the order for LSU. Now back to leadoff hitter J.C. Holt. A 3-2 walk to begin the game. It takes high and tight.
But I've got to believe that this is the time that Aaron Rawl really turns it up a little bit. I think this is why he's starting today, simply because he's a guy that loves to pitch when the pressure's on.
Well, he needs to turn it up better than a 500 average in these situations from Holt. 393, the top average for LSU this year. First team all SEC. Inside corner, 1-2.
And you can see Aaron Rawl, he is not afraid at all. He's not backing away regardless of what J.C. Holt has done. He is coming in there. Look at those eyes. This guy means business.
This is where these two, having seen each other before, had so much intrigue to the matchup. And he walked the ladder. He got him to go after one about letter high. So the Tigers leave the bases loaded on singles by Liuzza and both of the Harrises. Rawl, though, keeps it 1-0.
Today, you're a super painter with the amazing Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Fast and neat. It lets you paint up to 12 inches wide in one pass. The Power Painter. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
50 First Dates, now on DVD.
Monday you can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Oh.
I like you and you like me most days.
50 First Dates. Get it today on DVD.
You've got to step up. Close out all of the pressure. Trust everything you've been taught. And just believe you can do it. You know, my first day on the job sure felt familiar.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Guys, welcome back to Rosenblatt Stadium. 1-0 so far, South Carolina here with the LSU skipper, Smoke LaValle. Smoke, that last inning, one of your most disciplined hitters, J.C. Holt up there. Talk about that last swing, how disappointing that is for you guys right now.
Well, you know, it doesn't bother me. We had the right guy up. He's the go-to guy. He's been coming through all year. I think he's going to get another chance, and I hope he's up there again with the bases loaded.
So left-hander Lane Mestepe was so big for you guys. A little bit injured in that dog pile following the Super Regional. How is he today? Is he healthy?
Well, he looks okay. His curveball's rolling a little bit, but that could have been a little adrenaline rush. We got to wait and see, but he's locating all right. He's keeping the ball on the ground. Give us a chance.
Coach, thanks for taking the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, he talks about a rolling curve. Mr. Brantley, I'm sure once or twice in your career you might have had one roll on you. What is wrong with the grip or the delivery or maybe both that causes the curve not to have enough bite to it?
Anytime that you have a curveball that's described as a rolling curveball, as we see ground ball to first base, what ends up happening is when you let the ball go, instead of letting the ball go and getting on top of the ball, you let the ball go this way. You're pushing it out, and what happens is the ball comes up first instead of your fingers driving over the top of the ball and getting the ball on a downward plane. Anytime the ball comes up first and then rolls in there, the hitter sees the ball because it rises above your hand. If the ball goes straight down, it's very difficult to pick up, and that's the difference right now that we see between Mestepe and Aaron Rawl. Aaron Rawl's breaking ball right now has no hump in it at all. It is coming straight to the plate and dropping straight down.
How easy is that to correct? Does it usually just need to be pointed out once? Another chopper, and Triplett is the second out here in the third.
I think a lot of it, Dave, has to do with arm speed. I think a lot of it has to do with the health of your shoulder. The curveball itself takes a lot of shoulder strength to be able to get on top of that ball and get around it in a hurry. You can see that curveball right there. That ball is not breaking very much at all.
Steven Tollison, first time up, sacrifice Triplett. Dean's List student in business. Rounds one through the middle, and the Gamecocks have a 2-out single. They're fourth, so already they have more than they got all day against Cal State Fullerton. Our action from Omaha continues here on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern tonight with a winner's bracket matchup as those Cal State Fullerton Titans take on the Miami Hurricanes. Tons of tradition in this matchup. 34 overall College World Series appearances and 7 championships between the Canes and the Titans. 7 Eastern tonight. Steve Pierce, first ball swinging. J.C. Holt, straightaway center, and in 6 pitches, Lane Mestepe sets down Carolina in the third. They lead 1-0. We'll hear the thoughts of their head coach, Ray Tanner, when we come back to Omaha.
Join us all summer long for ESPN 25. This Tuesday on Who's Number One, we'll count down the worst teams from the 96 Tigers.
All the energy was just sucked out.
To the 1980 New Orleans Aints.
There for the stands had bags over their heads.
And on the headlines, we'll revisit stories from the Tyson conviction.
Oh, yeah, he's nuts.
To the Williams sisters' domination.
Those 2 girls brought tears in my eyes many, many, many times.
Who's Number One and the headlines. Every Tuesday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN 25, presented by T-Mobile.
The Summer of Champions on the Golf Channel. And your favorite golf legends are racing through Boston. Craig Stadler will have his hands full against a fantastic star-studded field. Can the Walrus grab his second win of the season? Or will another of golf's legends rise to the occasion and make the Walrus blow his top? The Champions Tour action doesn't get any hotter than this. It's the Bank of America Championship, June 25th through the 27th, exclusively on the Golf Channel.
The Continental Grip, however, as opposed to, say,
Is your message reaching the right audience? Comcast Spotlight offers you the ability to target audiences and advertise to consumers who are really interested in your product. Cable networks and shows attract and direct your customers daily. Don't waste advertising anymore. Contact Comcast Spotlight to learn more about affordable advertising with amazing results.
Call today for a special offer.
Welcome Welcome back to Omaha Rosenblatt Stadium. We've played 2.5 so far. South Carolina leading 1-0. Coach Ray Tanner, last-minute lineup change today. You flip-flop your 1-2, and it works out great. What was your hunch there?
Well, really, Tollison's a little better runner. I thought he started a double play. If we're going to hit and run a little bit, maybe bunt the guy up, and it so happened, triplet reach. We bunted him up, and Pierce bounced one through.
Coach Aaron Rawl beat this LSU team earlier this year. Is that an advantage coming into this game for him?
Well, I don't know. They're a great club, and they'll respond. But he's battled hard for us so far. They had the big out by striking out J.C. Hope with the bases loaded. So hopefully he can give us 5 or 6 quality innings.
Coach Ray Tanner, thanks, guys.
Yeah, I know he showed you a lot, Jeff, as a former pitcher, to be able to do that against the best hitter by average in the lineup, and the guy that probably in that situation LSU would rather have up than anyone, maybe with the exception of Zarang.
Well, what I like to watch is the eyes of the pitcher, and when you look at Aaron Rawl, you don't see any fear from this guy. He's locating pitches. He got J.C. Holt to swing at a high ball that was out of the strike zone. Then he came back down and in, and then he climbed the ladder again for strike 3.
That one, Karams fouled a triplet. Hard to imagine that kind of grittiness coming from someone who's not accustomed to the surroundings here.
Well, you look at Aaron Rawl and you just think this kid, I'm just watching him so far, his concentration level is supreme right now.
And he struck out Holt to end the second. He gets Patterson to begin the third.
That ball is right on the money.
That's kind of hard to take, that one.
Right on the money.
Now Blake Gill also looks at strike 1. Fly to left in the first.
Now that was a changeup right there. He took a little bit off that pitch, but you couldn't tell it unless you looked at the radar gun. But you throw a changeup at 77, and you come back with a well-located fastball at 89. I don't care what kind of hitter you are. You can be the best hitter in the big leagues. It's very difficult to make that adjustment.
And now it's LSU working on a string of utility. Both Laval, for their opening round game, emphasized getting an early lead against Miami. And they did that. They were fine first couple of them. Said today, well, maybe I should have added, let's not just take the rest of the day off. They had only 2 hits after the second inning. They were 5 for 10 in the first 2 innings. Here's a chopper. It's going to be trouble and through. The 4th Tiger hit. And Zarang will be the batter with 1 out. So 2 hits for the 3rd inning on. Hitless in the first here. But now 4 of the last 5 batters have base hits. And Gill extends his hitting streak to a career high 15 games.
Well, Gill does a good job with that changeup right there. That ball was down and away from him, and all he did was just keep his hands back a little bit and just try to slap the ball back up the middle.
Wall is a coach who likes to have a theme. Likes to have kind of a point of the day to emphasize in his pregame talk. Theme of the year was unfinished business, based on getting here but losing both games last year. They don't want to do an out treatment this year. And so that was foremost on their minds from the day of the first practice on. They wanted to not just get here but do some damage while they're here. So the theme against Miami paid off early, but he said I should have had point B. So today, he said he's going to talk about forget about the opponent. Liner to the gap. Another base hit. And that's 5 in the last 6 hitters who have singled against Rawl.
This ball is in on the hands of Zarang, but he's still able to get the ball and get it out into left center field. He didn't hit that ball that hard, but he still got it out there enough to get him a base hit.
Zarang 1 for 2. Now Nakarado, who fouled out to the catcher Powell. Well, really through the distinction between being glad that you have an opponent that you know, but not getting too caught up in that. He thought they were a little bit too caught up in the fact they were playing Miami, a team that's got an aura and a few skins on the wall, much like themselves. Another base hit. Blake Gill is being sent home. The throw from Wynn. It was made in time. Powell made a great last-second lunge, but he couldn't get there before Gill, who has tied it at 1.
This ball into straight at the right fielder Wynn. Wynn gets the ball up the first base line, but great try by Landon Powell. But I will say this, if I've got a catcher diving back towards home plate, if I'm Nakarada, I'm standing at second base, and right now he's standing at first base.
Great slide, great effort by Powell, but the correct call, as you saw those last two angles from the home plate umpire Bob Homolka. Nakarada does not take second on the throw, so first and third still with 1 out, 3 straight hits, and the DH Stavenov takes ball 1. He popped to second his first trip.
The problem with Nakarada not taking second base as Landon Powell dives backwards towards home plate is the double play stays in order right here.
Another pop-up. Foul ground making the call is going to be the third baseman triplet, and there's the second out. So 2 pop-ups off the bat of Stavenov. Game-tying slide by Blake Gill. Nakarada's 35th run batted in. And in a 1-1 game, Jeff, we have 10 base hits, all singles. Tigers strung together 3 in a row, didn't score in the second, 3 in a row, and they punched through around here in the third.
Well, Rawls' main job today is to keep his team in this ball game. Singles most likely are not going to beat you. You've got to keep the ball in the ballpark, and so far he's pitched his way out of trouble, seems like, every time he's been there.
And they said he was going to do this. They said he gives up a lot of hits because he's around the plate so much. He's only walked 16 batters all season. So it's part of his game. However, a drop-off, very evident here in Omaha with an earned run per inning. Trouble here with Liuza, who started this string of base hits with his 2-out single. Last inning, first and third, 2 out, and a breaking ball strike.
Well, I think the meeting on the mound was enough to get just something to give Aaron Rawls a little bit of rest, but also to stay away from that fastball away from Liuza.
Swings right through that one. 60 pitches thrown by Aaron Rawls. 40 are strikes.
He's definitely challenging the strike zone.
Only walk was to the first man he faced.
With Liuza right now, he is a guy that is definitely trying to hit the ball the other way, trying to hit that first and second base hole just like he did the first time out. The way you guard against that is you get the ball in.
Runner going from first. And it's strike 3. Liuza down on 3 pitches. Rawls strikes out 2 here in the inning, but the second straight inning he gives up 3 straight singles, and it cost him. Nakarada with his 35th run batted in of the year. We have a 1-1 tie headed to the 4th in Omaha.
Rain-X Car Wax not only shines your car, it protects it from Mother Nature. In fact, there's nothing Mother Nature can do to harm it. Well, almost nothing. Rain-X repels rain, dirt, and absorbs UV rays. Rain-X, protection you can see.
The Tuesday night poker game is back, and this time it's for $5 million. The highest stakes, the world's best players, and the unrivaled coverage of ESPN. The 2004 World Series of Poker. All new episodes begin Tuesday, July 6th at 9.
Describe the perfect day, Liz.
Well, we're driving to the lake, the kids watch a DVD, and Joe and I have some quality time.
Joe?
Okay, we're barreling along. The Hemi's kicking some serious butt. Then we fish.
Ah, see, you're not traveling in the same vehicle.
The all-new Durango. Big size, smooth ride, Hemi power.
What a quack.
Now get a $1,000 June bonus for a total combined cash allowance of $4,500 for qualified buyers who finance through Chrysler Financial.
If you have great credit, shouldn't you get a better rate when you refinance? At eLoan you do. We process your loan differently, online. That costs less, so you get a great rate with no lender fees. Apply today at eLoan.com.
Dawn of tomorrow. From the files of Tom Clancy comes a breakthrough action experience. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Pandora Tomorrow. Now available for PlayStation 2. Rated T for teen.
Another panoramic view from the Monster.com can. Don't forget, tune in tonight and watch Dave Ryan as he scales the dome. He made the pledge yesterday, and we're going to hold him to it.
He's lost his mind.
Not only will we see the view, but we'll hear him describe it. Plus, of course, he backs down, but we have it. The entire nation heard yesterday. We have it on a pretty good videotape, I think. We promised he's going to put on a show for us up there today. So that's tonight. Meanwhile, 1-1 game in the fourth inning. Landon Powell trying to end what's now a 1-for-25 postseason slump. Another elimination game, and someone from the SEC will head home. So they will have lost half their field after this game. They had 4 of the 8 who made Omaha, now with Arkansas sent back to Fayetteville by Arizona yesterday. Either the Tigers return to Baton Rouge or the Gamecocks to Columbia. 1-5 record for the SEC. They have as many wins as the Big West Conference, which sent only Cal State Fullerton here. Powell, the All-America catcher, then Kevin Melillo, the second baseman, and Brendan Wynn, the right fielder, in the top of the fourth. Dave Barnett, Jeff Brantley, Kyle Peterson. Things have cooled off a little as we get overcast after a bright blue sky was here about an hour ago when we got our first pitch. This entire series has been amazingly cool, about 25-30 degrees cooler than the teams who have been here before probably expected. And absolutely zero humidity. Almost feels more like Oahu than Omaha again today. 2-2 to Powell, a weak high bouncer. The charging second baseman Nakarada pulled Will Harris off the bag. And Powell has a rare base hit. He'll take it any way he can get it. No chance for Mestepe. Nakarada knows he has to get it out of his glove as soon as possible, and too quick to get Harris a chance to get back on the bag.
Mestepe is doing nothing but trying to keep the ball away from these right-handed hitters. And if you'll see him, he's just trying to make X's on the outside corner, especially to the right-handed batters. If you'll watch the way that the catcher sets up when he's throwing his changeup, he's really trying to set the ball out here. And what he's trying to do is get the hitters to swing at balls right out here. He'll start a fastball here, and then he'll put that changeup right out there off the plate. And it's going to be very difficult for these guys to hit the baseball. All of the right-handed hitters seem to be hitting the ball right off the end of the bat. Even a guy that's such a quality hitter as Landon Powell still having difficulty getting the bat on the ball, because this is not a strike. This is a ball. They've got to look for the ball here, and they've got to be able to drive the ball the other way if they're going to be successful against Mestepe.
There's a solid base hit through the hole on the right side. Powell will stop at second. And Melillo is 1 for 2. 6 hits now against Lane Mestapay.
You can see that breaking ball right there stays in the middle of the plate, and it's very difficult for a lot of these right-handed hitters to hit Mestapay because the ball's running away from him, but yet the left-handers, the ball's running to the fat part of the bat.
So 2 on, nobody out for Brendan Wynn. So far, the only strikeout for Mestapay, leading off the second. And he'll lay this one down. They have play on the slow-footed Powell, and he is an easy out at third.
This is a great job by Mestapay, and you have to be able to anticipate the runner moving to third base. He gets over there quickly, gets the ball in his glove, and makes a perfect throw to third base. The third baseman is taught if the ball is not bunted hard, don't charge, let the pitcher get it, you back up to third base. They executed that perfectly right there.
Wynn with only 2 successful sacrifices coming into today. So unable to get that one down successfully. Michael Campbell now with Melillo at second. Wynn aboard and 1 out. Campbell singled his first trip. Line here 0-2. That's a rocket. That's one of those you hold your breath until you make sure everybody's okay down there.
And we were talking about Mestapay, Dave. How many times have you heard talking about Tom Glavine sending left-handers up there simply because it takes away his changeup? Same thing with Mestapay today. He's getting right-handers out left as easy as possible, but the left-handers are taking some pretty good swings against him.
Easy force at third again for Clay Harris, and there are 2 gone. You can tell fans scrambling for the Ponchos. What happened to that bright blue sky? That didn't last long. Rain started to come down. Not real hard, but enough to force a good piece of our crowd to look for cover now. Nick Gardner, the DH. Also grounded to third his first trip. Takes a shot on the right side this time. Nacarado is there. 2 singles to begin the inning. Mestapay fights back. Weather suddenly a factor here in Omaha in a 1-1 game in the 4th.
This Wednesday, the FBI's toughest agents are going deep undercover.
Yo, what's up, money? You got a problem? Hold my poodle. You want some of this? I'll take the both of you.
From the director of Scary Movie, The White Chicks.
Mama!
Are coming.
I think you're flirting with me. Never!
Sean and Marlon Wayans are White Chicks.
What do you think?
Sexy. PG-13.
Today, you're a super painter with the Wagner Paint Crew. It's built for big jobs with an extra long hose that gives you the reach you need. The innovative Paint Crew. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Breakfast variety. Sonic's got it, others don't. Stop by Sonic this morning and start your day off with any of our delicious one-of-a-kind breakfast items. And make Sonic your morning drink stop where you'll find thousands of drink flavor combinations. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Some players wear their emotions on their sleeves, but in the case of the South Carolina Gamecocks, they wear their emotions on their hats in remembrance of their longtime groundskeeper and friend, Sarge Fromm.
I think this is our year. We're going to bring it home for Sarge.
Sarge Fry was a legend at the University of South Carolina. Having been at the university for more than 50 years, he was just a wonderful person, a great groundskeeper, and just touched everybody's lives that he came across.
He retired many years ago, and the field was named after him, and he still came to a lot of the games, still a part of the program, and we lost him this offseason, and our team's kind of rallied around that, and we always keep Sarge on our mind.
Whenever he was around, it seemed that everybody wanted to talk to him, and he would pick everybody up. It was just a special bond he had with every single person.
He was a great supporter of Gamecock baseball and everything, and then when he passed away this fall, it was a pretty sad time. And so we decided to dedicate this season and put his name on our hats, and we're just playing out here for him.
Well, the fact that they named their stadium after him a number of years ago tells you all you need to know about the esteem with which Sarge Fry was held by Carolina players, coaches, fans, everybody who was around him. Clay Harris pops up the first pitch of the fourth inning, and it goes all the way to mid-right field and falls in front of Brendan Wynn. What happened here should be out number one in rather routine fashion, shouldn't it?
Very difficult to judge that wind out there. Earlier in this ball game, the wind was taking that ball back towards the fence. Right there, that ball just looked like it just stopped in midair.
When it started raining about 5 minutes ago or so, the wind also picked up and may have changed direction just enough that everybody's got to rethink now what they thought the angles were going to be in the outfield. So Harris now 2 for 2. Clay hopes Will can join him 2 for 2. Will had the third straight single in the second inning when Holt struck out with the bases loaded. And these two played in the regular season in Columbia. That's really where Harris showed that he was ready for regular duty. Will had been used a little more sporadically until then. But that was kind of a dividing point in his season. From that point on, Smoke Laval saw him in a different light. And he carries a .321 average into this game today. 2-2 count.
Well, you can see Aaron Rawl trying to paint on the outside corner 0-2. Then he tries to go back up the ladder to get Harris to swing at the high fastball.
Much harder rain coming down now. If it stays like this, how much longer we got before we get the tarp ready? I wouldn't think much longer. As the fans scramble, the teams may be right behind them. Here's the 2-2. This will test your concentration if you're Aaron Rawl, won't it?
Well, I've got to believe if I have to have a pitcher out there that the rain is not going to bother, it's going to be this kid right here.
It's a gauge now on how low Bob Homolka's strike zone will go. Not quite that low. Full count.
I think lightning could strike out in center field and Aaron Rawl wouldn't even know it.
Well, let's hope we don't have to test that theory. Line drive, and it gets blown away from Davy Gregg. Toward the gap, it started almost right at him. And the Harris brothers again single one after another.
You can see this ball. It looks like it's just going to be a line drive to center field, and the ball just absolutely dies out there. Just in front of Davy Gregg.
Like in golf, when you think you have a fade, all of a sudden it's a slice.
Been there, done that.
And as Lee Trevino says, you can't talk to one of those. 5 for 6 now, the bottom third of the LSU order. J.C. Holt. His bunt forces Triplett at third to make the play, and a little bit better execution of the bunt with men on first and second. Now up to second and third, the Harris brothers.
Well, this is exactly how you're supposed to put the ball in play. to move the runners from first and second to second and third. You bunt the ball directly at the third baseman. You bunt the ball a little bit harder and make the third baseman have to come get it. Nice bunt, nice execution by J.C. Holt.
J.C. Holt now the team leading non-sacrifice bunt. Big swing by Patterson. 0 for 2. Struck out last time. Two-time All-SEC. First team last year, second team this year. Last year's home run leader with Clay Harris. 16 apiece. 14 coming into today. A ball and a strike. A chance for the Tigers with 2 in scoring position. 1 out here in the fourth to break a 1-1 tie. One and 2. Carolina's history in Game 2 in Omaha is that all that pent-up offense, all that futility, just explodes. Last year they scored 10 against Stanford. 2 years ago, 10 against Georgia Tech. 85-11 in Game 2 against Oklahoma State after being shut out in the first game. That was, I believe, a 14-inning shutout by Arkansas.
Now let's don't think that Aaron Rawl is getting wild by elevating that fastball. He's doing that on purpose, trying to get a strikeout here against Patterson. You get a fastball down and away, painting on the outside corner, then you elevate that fastball to try to get Patterson to swing through.
Just as quickly as it arrived, the rain seems to have passed. Just about completely stopped now. What will the wind do with this one? Down the right field line for wind, and the hitting mound. He grabs it as Clay Harris rambles home.
Well, that's one of those balls that you don't know whether you should catch it or you should let it go foul, especially with the hitter having 2 strikes. But because of the quality of hitter that Ryan Patterson is, and the fact that you've got runners at second and third, I believe I'll take an out for a run right here and a catch, because you just don't ever know what's going to happen if you have to throw another pitch to a hitter like Ryan Patterson.
Patterson now with a 66th run batted in, tops on the team, and that was some spectacular concentration by Wynn. Knew the mound was out there somewhere, knew the pattern ball was as well, and he's fighting to win. All 3.
Well, that ball was really drifting towards that right field wall.
2-0 to Blake Gill, number 3 hitter, 1 for 2. 3 balls, no strikes. As Clay scored, Will made it to third on that sacrifice, and there's a strike. 3-1. Another single. The second straight by Gill. The second run of the inning driven home. Will follows Clay to the plate, and it's 3-1 LSU.
Well, I don't know at this point in the ball game. I know it's early in this game, and you're trying to get outs as soon as possible. And the last thing that you want to do is put a runner on. But after getting behind 3-0 to a quality hitter like Blake Gill, I don't know that I would have given him that much of a quality pitch with a runner at third base and 2 outs.
So now you have the cleanup hitter, All-America John Zerang. Starts him with a strike. Zerang had 3 home runs in the 3-game regular season series between these two at Sarge Fry Field in Columbia. Chopper here, and Tollison the short way to Melillo, ending the threat, but 3 more singles here in the 4th inning. Successful sacrifice fly played roles as well, and the Tigers take a 3-1 lead.
The
260 horsepower Infiniti G35. One of Car and Driver's 10 best for 2 years running. A dream to drive. The Infiniti G35.
Sport is sport. A foul's a foul. And a bat's a bat, even if it's flat. 10 feet on the west side is 10 feet on the east side. Football is football, unless it's football. Now a win's a win, a loss is a loss. But no matter what, you better come with it. Because it's 90 feet to first, no matter where home is.
Assurance in rain means Goodyear's deeply carved aqua chutes propel water away from your tread. Assurance on ice means Goodyear's interlocking treads deliver gripping power. Assurance on dry pavement means Goodyear's reinforced shoulders give you confident maneuvering. The revolutionary new Goodyear Assurance with triple tread technology for assurance in any weather on the wings of Goodyear.
Aaron Rawl in his thoughts, having given up 9 base hits now, all singles, but they add up no matter what they are. They've added up to a 3-1 deficit now tonight. Major League Baseball continues with an American League Central Division clash. ESPN has it at 8 Eastern. The Indians visiting the White Sox. Some of you may see Pittsburgh at Houston. Cleveland at Chicago, 8 Eastern. Monday Night Baseball on ESPN. Go-aways to match the flamboyance of the LSU fan. That was a pretty strong bid, though. Davey Gregg just in fair territory to Ryan Patterson. And Mestepe now is retired 4 straight. Still only the 1 run in the first. Giving up 6 hits. So far, at least 1 in each inning. Ryan Triplett moved to the leadoff spot at the last minute by head coach Ray Tanner today. Singled in the first. The former leadoff hitter, Steven Tollison, then sacrificed him, and Steve Pearce drove him home. Still the only offense for the Gamecocks. Driven to right field. Backing up, Zarang. Out number 2. Suddenly we have the conditions we started the game with. The rain is all gone. The wind is not quite as strong. Well, it looks like the same wind that we had for the first couple innings, right?
But if you're going to beat Mestepe, that's where you're going to beat him. You've got to drive. If you're a right-handed hitter, you've got to drive the ball the other way. You've got to dive out over the plate and catch that fastball away.
Allison 1 for 1 with the sacrifice and the single. Powell had the chop infield hit, just his second of the postseason. Win also sub 100. Tollison sub Mendoza line. Carter said that couldn't really put his finger on it. The offense just struggled altogether coming down the stretch, even as they were winning. Remember, a 10-game winning streak before they were shut out in game 1, and just 6 pitches. Lane Mestepe gets a 1-2-3 here in the 5th inning. The LSU former All-America gaining some rhythm, up by 2.
Quick, in the top 5 water polo players in the world. Okay, how about 1? Yeah. I didn't start playing water polo to get famous. And the same goes for being a biology major. I like working in protein chemistry. Quick, name the top 5 protein chemists in the world.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sport.
I like my sports, my ESPN, the Weather Channel.
Picture's very clear.
The on-demand things I like.
How's the service been?
Oh, excellent. Yeah, we had satellite. I don't like it because when it rains, you just lose your reception.
I switched from satellite. Just wasn't getting the support.
Time Warner service has been great.
Time Warner Cable is excellent.
Do you have a great story about Time Warner Cable? Write an essay telling us why you love your Time Warner Cable video service, and you could win a trip to Hawaii. Log on to our website or write us today.
Welcome back to Omaha. LSU taking the 3-1 lead. We're in the Home Depot Coaching Clinic, and we're with one of the all-time greats, Coach Skip Bertman, now the athletic director at LSU. 3 years now in your fourth year as the AD at LSU. How are things going on the other side right now?
Oh, real good. Things have been great. Football team with the national championship, track and field with a couple, and of course baseball here, Final Four, softball. It's been great for us. It's been a great year.
Coach, you were so big on the motivational side when you coached. How much of a part did that play in your success as a coach?
Well, for me, it played a large role. I think it's kind of underplayed. I think a lot of coaches feel they're too young, or they can't do it, or big league baseball doesn't do it. But in reality, Kyle, there's only 30 games or maybe less in a baseball season, and they usually happen once every week, and you got to keep them together for 48 hours to 72 and make them focus. And I think motivation's a big thing.
Had a little different vantage point up from when you're sitting right down. Do you miss being down on the field? Is it tough coming back?
I do. I miss the kids, of course. That's number one. They're the greatest, best role models of any of the NC2A sports citizens, and I think they're all good. But the kids are great in baseball. And I miss the closeness of a 7th-inning ball game, and certainly Omaha. But I don't miss those bus trips. Yeah. You remember those?
Oh, absolutely. Plenty of those. Talk about this year's LSU Tiger team. I mean, a team that fought through a lot of adversity, still alive here in Omaha. What do you see out of this ball club?
I'd say a great job. Good coaching job by Smoke. Gambled and got Lane Mestapay ready in the Southeastern Conference tournament. He took Nate Bumstead, changed some pitches, and did some real good things. Settled on a lineup about the second third of the season and has stuck with it. They've competed up and down in every way you can think of. But winning in Omaha is tough. I mean, you got to be very fortunate to win out here.
Coach, you've won here 5 different times. What sticks out the most of all the times you've come back here?
Well, naturally, the number one thing for me, of course, is a Warren Morris homer with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th, the runner at third, down by 1. In the 50th anniversary of the College World Series by a kid who was injured most of the year, missing 42 games, and naturally coming up at the right time and batting 9th, as it were, because he couldn't swing well and hit his first homer. But, of course, went on to play big league ball, so it really wasn't a fluke as much as it was timely.
Coach Skip Bertman, thanks for taking the time. It's great to see you again.
Thank you, Kyle.
Guys.
Boy, I can't think of another case of a baseball coach held in such high esteem, Jeff, that he was then made athletic director. It used to happen all the time with a football coach. You don't see it ever with a baseball coach. Skip Bertman is a pioneer in that aspect among big-time Division I programs.
Well, that's how it happens when you win that many championships.
So you saw Nakarada line out to center. Now the DH Stavinoff, who was 0 for 2, a couple of pop-ups. Well, he certainly had an impact on Ray Tanner, the Carolina head coach, when they were working together on the Team USA, the national program. Tanner says, until I spent a lot of time around Skip, I was much more regimented. I believe the way you beat people is you outwork them. Big on rules. And what Bertman taught him, as Stavinoff slashes to Triplett for the second out, is the importance of the mental side. And it's not all just about making sure your mechanics are right and you used every single second of practice time that you could on the field. Bertman is a lot more about, and Laval after him, a lot more about your mindset and how you picture yourself having success.
Well, I think every player's got to have some semblance of self-motivation. If you don't have self-motivation, then you're not going to get any better as a player. You come in as a freshman or as a junior college transfer, you don't have as many scholarships in baseball as you do in a lot of the other sports. So you've got to be the best that you can be, not only in the classroom, but also on the baseball field. And if you can't do that, then you're going to have some difficulty with establishing a winning program.
Got him right where we want him.
Maybe an example is the fact that Tanner let the mustache go. Saw some motivational value in that. I said before, that never would have flown, but as the kids saw it having a factor in a 10-game win streak, we decided, well, why not? As soon as we lose, it's off. And as you can see today, it's off after the loss in the first game here in Omaha.
Well, we also talked about Jim Morris having to suspend both his closer and his setup man. Those are the types of things that I believe in today's game, in today's sports, have got to be done in order to keep everybody in line and everybody on the same page. Everybody's got to be treated the same.
After Liusa's 2-out single, here's Clay Harris. He and Will have both singled twice. And this bottom of the order for LSU, which was 1 for 11 against Miami, now 6 for 7. Liusa 2 for 3. The Harrises are combined 4 for 4.
Brothers are having a nice day, aren't they?
Up top, so far Holt and Patterson are 0 for. Number 3 hitter Gill 2 for 3. Zarang 1 for 3. Nakarada 1 for 3. And the only 0 for other than Holt, who has walked and sacrificed, he's just 0 for 1. Stavinoff DH 0 for 3. Pretty good balance. Still looking for their first extra base hit, but they'll take the 10 they have right now with a 3-1 lead. And a 2-2 count with 2 out. South Carolina has managed 6 hits. All theirs are singles. Clay Harris retired for the first time. 4th strikeout for Aaron Rawl. We'll go to the 6th. And in this all 3-1 as we move to the 6th inning. Just about another packed house at Rosenblatt Stadium. Dave Barnett, Jeff Brantley, Kyle Peterson, and Steve Pierce leading things off against Lane Mestepe, who his first 2 years, freshman, sophomore, ace of the staff. SEC Freshman of the Year in 2001, first team All-Conference twice, and then the shoulder surgery cost him all of 2003. But he fought back this year, and until found himself on the bottom of that dog pile after winning the Super Regional. Really, the only difference they talked about was in miles per hour. Dropped about 3-4 miles per hour off his top speed.
Well, the one thing that it didn't change is his mindset. He's still aggressive in the strike zone. He still knows how to change speeds, and he knows how to pitch. And pitching is the name of the game.
Weak grounder right through Clay Harris. Knew he had to pick it quick. Couldn't pick it at all. And Steve Pierce is aboard to start the 6th for Carolina.
Harris is playing back on this play. It's basically a do or die. You've got to glove it. But you can see as he reaches down, he comes up just a little bit too quick. The ball hits off the edge of the glove. No chance to get Pierce at first base.
Haven't seen an official scoring decision yet. Calling that a base hit. There's another chance. Barely in time at second base. Steve Pierce almost beat that throw. Powell beats out the fielder's choice.
Well, we're going to have a little problem here from Smoke Laval because as Pierce slides into second base, he pops up. You're not allowed to do that in college baseball. And you can see him pop up right there, right at the last second. And it eliminates the ability to throw the ball to first base. That is normally called an automatic double play because the base runner popped up right in front of the second baseman and it did not allow him to try to make a throw to turn the double play. The rules are different in collegiate baseball than they are in the big leagues, and on this play right here, as you see him pop up, cannot do that. You've got to stay down on the ground.
Second base umpire David Rogers has got to be saying, though, even if he makes a throw, there is absolutely no chance because Powell's already on the bag. Rawl being forced to work a lot harder than Mestepe. Shot off Mestepe, and this is going to be an infield single for Kevin Melillo. Powell down to second. And Melillo now 2 for 3.
Well, there's not much you can do as a pitcher on that play except hope you throw your glove down there and the ball goes in it. That ball bounces off of his shin, and his second baseman Nakarada was trying to move up the middle to catch that ball. Just no chance to make any play anywhere.
Ball 1 to Brendan Wynn. 3 of the last 4 hits for the Gamecocks are infield hits.
They've been ugly.
Powell back in the 4th, and then Pierce and Melillo both here in the 6th. Ball 2 from Mestepe, whose parents are with Kyle Peterson.
Thanks, guys. With Rogers, Mestepe up here, and Mr. Mestepe, last year Lane got a chance to come back as you just watched last year to get a chance to pitch because of injury. What's it like this year to watch your son get a chance to pitch in Omaha?
Really exciting. Last year was kind of hard knowing that he wasn't going to pitch, and then this year I had a chance to pitch. When we get here, and he's got a shoulder injury again, but it's not too serious, and he's worked through it and doing fine.
You know, we were talking about superstitions earlier. Any superstitions when you watch your son out there?
Not really. I know he's got one. He doesn't talk to anybody before the game. Nobody. He wants to be by himself. I can understand that.
I know your hometown, Zachary, Louisiana, close to Baton Rouge. You get a chance to watch him all the time. Take on a little different. Is it a little different here watching him in Omaha, though?
Yes, sir. This here is the ultimate in college baseball. It doesn't get any better, and I just hope we win.
Well, we'll let you enjoy the game. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Guys.
While he was chatting, he saw Lane issue his first walk of the day to load the bases with 1 out from Michael Candle. And pitching coach Brady Lederhold will make the long walk out. Nobody is up in the bullpen. 3-1 LSU lead in jeopardy here in the 6th inning. Stay tuned tonight. Cal State Fullerton in Miami here on ESPN2. The winner will sit in the catbird seat. The rest of the bracket will beat up on each other, while the winner is just 1 win away from that final series. No coincidence. Teams that get to Omaha have great catchers, and we've seen a parade of them here. Fullerton's Kurt Suzuki and Miami's Eric San Pedro were both high Major League Draft choices. You can see them in action tonight at 7 Eastern here on ESPN2. Campbell's pop chased by Clay Harris out of play.
This is a big AB for Lane Mestepe right here to try to get out of this inning. If he can get himself a ground ball, especially if it's up the middle between Gill and Nakarada, they're liable to turn a double play and get him out of this inning. That's the beauty of the double play, Dave. That's why us pitchers love it so much.
That's why it's the pitcher's best friend.
That's right. That way you can always say, I'm only 1 pitch away.
South Carolina's run production on average in game 2 here after being shut out in game 1 the last 3 trips, 10.3 runs. Only 1 run so far in this game 2, and it's 0-2 on Campbell. Loaded up. Powell at third, Melillo at second, Wynn at first.
Campbell has got to be thinking, I've got to go the other way. If he's thinking anything else, he's going to be in trouble.
Well, he went the other way, and Clay Harris didn't move a muscle. Didn't have to. 2 out.
They say all of those line drives even out with chink hits going out into the outfield. They don't even out. Nothing evens out when you hit a ball this hard with the bases loaded in the College World Series and you get nothing.
Nick Gardner, 0 for 2. Average for the year down to 233. 2 hits and a walk here in the inning. With the Gamecocks in danger of leaving them loaded. They have already left 4 on. Retired in order only once by Lane Mestapay. He has made sure that Carolina hasn't gotten the big hit yet. 8 singles. Make it 9. Gardner finds a hole on the right side. Runners to second and third. And Carolina now jumping out of the dugout for an argument.
Now that's an incorrect call. That is an incorrect call, and if they don't change that, that's an incorrect call. The catcher's standing right in the runway. He did not have the baseball. He did not try to dislodge the baseball. If they throw this young man out of the ball game, this is not the correct call.
Catcher's right in his way. Liuzza is standing basically on the plate.
You cannot stand in the baseline without the baseball. If they make this call and they throw this young man out of the ball game, this is not the correct call. They better get these umpires together and get this call right now.
So he's called him safe. He allows the run.
He allows the run, but you do not throw that young man out of the ball game for running in to the catcher.
Lillo, one of the real veterans here for the 3rd straight year. Got a solid argument because we showed you there is no way for him to score other than to dislodge Liuzza, who does not have the ball here.
Well, we're going to see these 4 umpires meet together, and this call is going to be changed.
We've seen this called already once here.
But he had the baseball.
If you have the ball,
and he tried to dislodge the baseball. When you try to dislodge the baseball, yes, you are thrown out of the ball game. You can't do that. But if the catcher does not have the ball, or the defensive player does not have the ball in the baseline, he cannot be in the baseline. That is not a time that you throw the base runner out of the ball game. That is incorrect.
By definition, Jeff, there is no ball to dislodge.
That's exactly right. They will change this call if they know what they're doing.
Bob Homolka, the plate umpire, in the discussion with Scott Graham, David Rogers, and Paul Guillet. This really seems to be pretty clear cut. They're going to make sure they get it right. It's a little bit surprising it's taken them this long. They don't appear to be anywhere near an end. So Mestapay just keeps throwing warm-ups out there. Meanwhile, it is a 3-3 tie on Nick Gardner's 2-run single. Wynn made 3rd. Gardner took 2nd on the throw.
Big hit for Gardner. Not normally the guy that you would see in the DH spot for South Carolina. Hits the ball to the right side and gets in 2 runs.
Look at it again.
Now let's watch as Melillo's coming home. The ball goes right by him. There's nothing he can do. I mean, he's just trying to get out of the way.
It was impossible to stop himself and avoid contact.
No, that is, I tell you what, if he throws Melillo out of the ball game, that may be one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life.
I can only think he was reacting on the push-off.
He didn't even push off. He had his hands up next to his chest trying to guard himself. The catcher's got full gear on. The ball goes all the way back to the backstop.
So if you don't have a ball to dislodge, the question remains, how can you be thrown out for dislodging a non-existent ball? The catcher's blocking your path. You got to get to the plate somehow. Liuzza thinks it's funny. Now we apparently have a decision. Well, they may want to see if they can look at a replay. I don't know that I've ever seen this,
Well, actually,
or at least discuss things with the head of umpire.
They're talking to the head of the umpires right here.
Dave Yaste is head of the National Umpire Union, the coordinator of baseball umpires from 1996 on. Worked College World Series back to 1991. So you applaud them for going as high as they can to make sure they have the right interpretation, but I'm just not sure why it's taken this long to get it. Now we've had that discussion, and we're going to see what comes from that.
Fine with them trying to make the right call, but the right call right here is to put Kevin Melillo back in this ball game. If he's thrown out of this ball game, that's ridiculous.
Meanwhile, this is a long break for Mestapay. Stop throwing warm-up and just standing and waiting for a decision. He's going to have second and third with 2 outs. Whether Melillo is thrown out or allowed to stay in the game. Tanner's already had his say, and now they break it up. And they want Smoke out along with Tanner to make it a group announcement.
I think what they're going to do right now is they're going to explain what the situation is, exactly what they have decided to do. And in my estimation, they're going to bring Melillo back into the ball game, and they're all going to agree that the call was made incorrectly the first time. And you can see Smoke Laval. Smoke Laval is not happy because they're going to put Melillo back in this ball game. But that is the correct call. And you have to know that Smoke Laval was going to react the way that he was because his catcher's laying on the ground. He couldn't go after the baseball, but the ball was past the catcher when the contact was made. There was no chance to dislodge anything. And now Smoke Laval wants to. He's pointing down to the left field bullpen. Let me talk to the head of umpires.
Well, what do you think of the rule itself? I've always considered that just part of baseball, all the way down to Little League.
It is part of baseball, but what they're trying to do in collegiate baseball now is to try to decrease the injuries in the game. The last thing that you want is somebody come piling in, running over a catcher, running over a guy at second base, tearing up a knee, breaking somebody's neck, trying to run over a catcher with the baseball. That's the reason the rule was put in to start with, to not dislodge the baseball. Well, at this point, there was no baseball to dislodge. The ball was back here at the backstop.
Well, if they're that worried about injuries, they ought to get rid of the aluminum bats. Been a part of baseball since the invention of the game. So an unhappy Laval back to his dugout now. And evidently Melillo is being allowed to stay, so they get it right.
Well, they get the call right. I know Smoke Laval is not happy about it. But in my estimation, if you're an umpire and you're an umpiring crew, the bottom line is getting the call right. And what they've done here is they've got the call right.
It took them around 10 minutes, but looks like they came finally after consulting a very hot man, Dave Yates. The correct call. Now Davey Gregg after this layoff. What does Mestapay look like? Not bad. Starts with strike 1. So the 2-run score on the single by Nick Gardner. So we're tied 3-3 with 2 outs. Gardner at second, Wynn at third. And this chopper backhanded by Will Harris. Can't get the throw behind it. And 2 more scored for Carolina. How much of that do you blame on the layoff? How hard is it to get sharp again?
I don't think that has anything to do with the layoff. I think that when Will Harris got the ball, he just didn't lead Mestapay enough when he looked up, he backhanded this ball, and he's not seeing the runner. Well, as he turns around, he sees the runner bearing down on Mestepe, and he just lobs the ball. You've got to give a crisp throw to the pitcher at first, running over to first base, and that ball was just lobbed in the air, and he lobbed it right over his head.
So on that misplay on the throw by Harris, you think it happens if there's no layoff?
I think the layoff had nothing to do with it. It was just a bad throw.
Scored error on the first baseman, Will Harris. No RBI. But a 4-run inning and a 2-run Gamecock lead now. On the top of the order, Brian Triplett sees that one go out of play. One more look.
And you can watch this ball. He backhands it. Now let's see if he slows his arm down. He slows his arm down. He just lobs the ball over. You can't do that, especially when you've got a fast runner coming down the line, bearing down on Mestepe. You've got to give a firm, crisp throw on that play right there.
How many hours in spring training is spent on that very play?
Hundreds.
2-1. First error of the game.
Pitcher's fielding practice.
Remember, this inning began with Pierce being given an infield single call on a misplay by the third baseman, Clay Harris. Lillo with the single. Wynn walked. Gardner with the 2-run single, and then Greg reaching on that error by Will Harris. Now a 3-1 count for Brian Triplett. 1 for 3. Until this inning, it scored the only Carolina run. He walks, and they have batted around now in the top of the 6th.
And let's remember, all of these runs have scored with 2 outs on the board.
Yep, and the second out was a shot. By far the hardest hit ball of the inning. The line drive by Michael Campbell to Clay Harris down at third. 9th hitter of the inning, Stephen Tollison. 1 for 2. Are you always surprised when you see a guy swing at the first pitch when a guy's obviously at least momentarily struggling with his control?
Well, I think that and I was just fixing to say, Mestepe doesn't seem to be bothered too much by all the happenings that are going on. He still continues to get the ball close to the plate. And in my estimation, if I'm Tollison, if I can get a ball that's close to the plate right now that I can drive, I'm taking my chances. It's different if he's thrown ball after ball after ball and walked a bunch of guys, but Mestepe seems to have been around the plate most of the time.
By far, the most he's been forced to throw in an inning. That was his 26th and his 81st of the game, and it's 2-1. Big turnaround. 2 outs, 4 Carolina runs here in the 6th. That one hugging the line until it slices off the bullpen now. And it's 2-2.
That's what you've got to do. If you're gonna hit Mestepe, you've got to take him that way. And it seems as though the South Carolina has finally figured that out in this inning.
LSU, you saw Jordan Faircloth from the bullpen. Maybe wondering if Mestepe is down to his final batter.
Well, I've got to believe if he doesn't get this out right here, we're going to see Faircloth in this ballgame.
Should be out of the inning.
A couple of times.
Yeah, at least on the play off the bat of Greg. A bad throw by Will Harris. Instead, he follows that up with the walk. So 2 of these 4 runs unearned. And the 2-2 again will go out of play. Allison and Parley, a lot of clutch hitting opportunities in the postseason. 2 game-winning hits in extra innings. Super regional over East Carolina. Well, still not even here. Line drive, another base hit, stroked right back up the middle. Davey Gregg is home. with the 5th run of the inning.
You see this changeup, and you see where that pitch is. That pitch is about 6 inches off the outside corner. Tollison just goes out there and gets it. They have all been doing that in this inning. Everybody's trying to hit the ball the other way, and it has paid off for South Carolina.
So the inning that simply won't end for LSU has ended for Lane Mestapay, who will leave and give way to Jordan Fairclough. 4 hits, 2 walks, and a key error in what is now a 5-run Carolina 6th and a 6-3 game.
Once there was a place where brotherhood meant everything. Don't be afraid. Where friendship was everlasting.
What are you doing here? The honey drops. I told you you'd like it, didn't I?
And a mother's love was the greatest power of all.
Two Brothers is a magical movie experience not to be missed. The greatest family adventure of the summer.
I see you, Sunga.
Two Brothers, rated PG. At theaters Friday.
Rain-X Car Wax not only shines your car, it protects it from Mother Nature. In fact, there's nothing Mother Nature can do to harm it. Well, almost nothing. Rain-X's transparent polymer repels rain, dirt, and absorbs UV rays. Rain-X Car Wax, protection you can see.
You want to split something?
Nah, I'm actually pretty hungry.
What are you going to get?
I'm thinking turkey leg. How about you?
I don't know. Just a T-bone, I guess.
The world isn't made for low-carb eaters.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's nice.
That's why there's new Life Choice. Generous portions, great taste, few carbs. Life Choice, now in your grocer's freezer.
Weirdness has taken over at Rosenblatt Stadium in this 6th inning for South Carolina. Bizarre play at the plate. A call reversed. Melillo thrown out and then asked back into the game. The key throwing error by the first baseman, Will Harris, making for now 3 of the 5 runs unearned as they have chased the starter, Lane Mestapay. And he gives way to junior from Alexandria, Louisiana, Jordan Fairclough. Steve Pierce, the batter, 2 for 3. They try to pick off Tollison at first, and another run scampers home. Graham tripled. 7-3, Carolina. And before Fairclough even comes to the plate, another run comes home.
Let's add this to the wackiness of this inning for LSU. He turns and tries to make a pick, throws the ball into the runner.
E1 following E3. Only 2 errors of the game at absolutely critical points. A little blooper, falls over Gill into left. And digging for third, Tollison, the throw not in time. Pierce has his 2nd hit of the inning and 3rd of the afternoon.
What else can happen to LSU that hasn't happened this inning? Look at this ball. He hits it right off of his knuckles, just out of the reach of Blake Gill. Goodness gracious.
Now Landon Powell, at a fielder's choice, scored the first of these 6th inning runs. Comes low as anybody dips down in this College World Series, although he says the pitcher he most admires is Greg Maddux. He doesn't throw like him at all. A similar walk ratio, though, just 11 and 56 in the 3rd. outstanding and 40 strikeouts.
He's definitely got some good numbers. Whenever you can throw the ball from down there and you've got some velocity, it's very difficult to pick up because the ball is heavy and the ball sinks.
Way outside again, 2-1. Lillo, minutes ago, thought he was thrown out of the game in the on-deck circle, ready to bat for the second time here in the inning. 2-2. The dam is burst. South Carolina scores 1 run in the first 14 innings of this College World Series. 6 this inning, 4 unearned. After getting on board with a first inning run. So after trailing 3-1, a 4-run lead, and Fairclough can't bring that sidearm pitch within a foot of the plate. And he tries to get the outside corner. 3-2.
Well, the way that wind's blowing out to right field, the last thing he wants is to leave one over the middle of the plate to this guy.
Again, not close. The bases are loaded for Carolina, and Melillo will bat again. The thing is, for LSU, they are not out of this game. They can't seem to get out of this inning. But a 4-run lead in the 6th inning.
This game is not going to end 7-3, I can assure you.
They have to thaw off the bats once they finally get a chance. There's a strike. Earlier in the inning, Melillo reached on an infield single, came around, and was at first ruled by the plate umpire Bob Homolka. Thrown out of the game, although the run counted. One of 3 options that Homolka had. He finally, after about a 10-minute discussion, went to the correct option since the ball did not stay in the catcher Liuzza's mitt. There was no ball to dislodge.
The only time that you can throw him out of the ball game if it's malicious in how he's running over the catcher without the baseball. Well, he did not do that. All he was trying to do was protect himself. He had his arms crossed in front of him. He didn't flail up his elbows. He didn't do anything wrong.
Outside again. 3-1.
I mean, you're running home full speed. It's not like you're a robot and you can just stop.
Impossible to stop, impossible to avoid contact. No other call should have been made. The 3-1 pitch, swinging all the way, and this one will float down to Ryan Patterson in left field, and it's finally over. A walk-up, epic 6th run. 6th inning, as Carolina leading LSU now 7-3.
What am I? Am I a basketball player who's a psychology major? Or am I a psychology major who's a basketball player? You know, that's the thing about psychology. We tend to overanalyze everything.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Almost there. This concert's gonna rock. Before we rock, why don't we wait some more?
Why waste time in line when you can already be done online? With Roadrunner High-Speed Online, customizable with antivirus and firewall protection and up to 70 times faster than dial-up.
Obstructive view? What's that?
Call 866-892-7201 for free installation plus your first 3 months for only $29.95 per month.
With Roadrunner, your world is always on.
This summer, I can be happy again. I lost 65 pounds in 32 weeks.
I'm never going to look this way again because I wasn't happy. I was miserable, and there was a person inside that I wanted to become, and now I'm that person.
I was more willing to do things. Go to the beach and not worry about what I look like on the beach. Now if somebody stares at you, you're like, hi.
Call 1-800-807-TRIM.
After a 43 3-pitch, 12-batter inning, 6-run scoring after 2 were out, only 2 of which were earned. LSU now down 7-3 as they hit in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Aaron Wall sat and watched that to his delight, but also now a challenge for him to come back after a long layoff.
Well, this can either be a good thing or a bad thing for Aaron Wall. We're going to find out right quick if it affects his control at all. If it gave him a little bit of rest and gave him a second win, look out.
So far, so good to the number 9 hitter, Will Harris. Critical throwing here in that mix. And a 2-for-2 day with a run scored. Now Peterson is working on further clarification on the home plate incident involving Kevin Melillo. And we'll have a full, complete word, everything he can manage out of the powers that be here momentarily. 2-2.
Where is that?
Good heaven. One of the best pitches balls thrown today.
Got him all shook up.
Not even really on the corner so much. Just the inner half of the plate. It has to come to him 3-2, and he should get him anyway. Shallow center, wind blowing it back, ranging over the shortstop Tollison. All right, Kyle, what you got?
Yeah, guys, on that play right there, there's 3 options that possibly can happen. I was talking to Jim Pirano, the secretary and editor of the NCAA Rules Committee. He said you got 3 different things you could do. If there's malicious intent, one of the things you were talking about, JB, if he has the ball and dislodges the ball, they can call him out and throw him out. If there's malicious intent but he doesn't have the ball and is safe, they can throw him out and call him safe. Or in the case that ended up happening, Bob Homolka made the determination that there was no malicious intent and he was safe. So the discussion was about malicious intent. He was going to be safe the entire time. They had to decide whether or not there was malicious intent. Umpires got together. In the end, decided there wasn't. And obviously, it paid off pretty well for Carolina.
Well, so the end result is what's important, and they got the eventual decision right.
Well, there was no malicious intent. No elbows were thrown. He didn't drop a shoulder. He was standing straight up.
To J.C. Holt.
Can't throw a kid out of the ball game for all he was doing was protecting himself. He crossed his hands in front of his chest, for goodness sakes.
Two balls and 2 strikes. I think it is really going to be tough to get one out to left now. Wind picking up after it had died a little bit. We had a rain shower last about 10-15 minutes earlier. And this blooper will also go to the shortstop Tollison in shallow center. 2 gone. On a different day, more conventional weather day, that's nobody's play but the center fielders. Ryan Patterson now, nobody on and 2 out. He's 0 for 3. One of only 3 Tigers without a hit today. Holt, who was walked and sacrificed. And the DH Stavinaugh, who's 0 for 3. 2 balls and no strikes. Wall with pinpoint control this year, averaging less than a walk per start. His only walk today was to the first man he faced, J.C. Holt. He's never walked more than 2 this year. He did that 3 different occasions, but that was his max. The 3-1. Tough one hopper. Ryan Triplett handles the short hop. And it's a 1-2-3, 6th inning, and it's still a 7-3 South Carolina lead. On to the 7th, on to one of our ESPN Top 25 College World Series moments.
On the job site, time is money. To save time, I need more than a tool. I need a system. RotoZip spiral saw system. It cuts steel pipe, cuts laminate, cement board, does all sorts of tough jobs. With new features, the original just got tougher and faster. RotoZip, tough enough to tackle any job.
Welcome to Saab's 24/24 sales event. It starts with a 24-hour test drive. And if 24 hours are this exhilarating, just imagine what a 24-month lease will feel like. Welcome to the State of Independence and Saab's 24/24 sales event. Test drive a Saab 9.3 sports sedan for 24 hours, then lease it starting at $269 a month for just 24 months. Offer ends June 30th.
Today, you're a super painter with a Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. One touch, and you control a continuous flow of paint. The innovative Power Roller. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
Darn tomorrow. From the files of Tom Clancy comes a breakthrough action experience. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Pandora Tomorrow. Now available for PlayStation 2. Rated T for teen.
In this, our 25th year, ESPN looks back at one of our top 25 moments. 3 years ago, before the first game of the College World Series, President George W. Bush was on hand to throw out the first pitch, a strike down the middle. And later to come up and honor us here in the booth with his presence. Former owner of the Texas Rangers, also among these top 25 moments. Stanford with their back-to-back championships in '87 and '88. Georgia with its only title back in '90, and the memorable 3-home run performance by Florida State's J.D. Drew back in 1995. But as the Brantley family knows, and really the whole country did even before he became president, George W. Bush is among the biggest baseball fans in the country.
Anybody that builds a baseball field on the South Lawn, to have Challenger Little League back there, to take children that cannot have the opportunity to play baseball for one reason or another because they're handicapped in some fashion or form, you've got to believe that this man cares about not only the game itself, but he cares about the character that you can build from playing in a ball game and having children that would never be able to play a ball game like that, to be able to take care of them in a place just like the White House.
Brendan Wynn looks at a call third strike.
Had an opportunity to go up to the White House with my family and go out to the Challenger Little League on the South Lawn and meet the President of the United States. And there's nothing better for a father than to see the President of the United States kneel down on his knee and shake your child's hand, both my daughter and my son, and get out and ask questions to the President of the United States in all fashions and forms, and to be able to take pictures, and we used that picture for our Christmas card.
Line drive, base hit, Michael Campbell. Second hit for him today. How old were your kids then? Did they have any appreciation for just what a privilege that was?
Oh yeah, they were only a year, well, 2 years younger than what they are now. My daughter was 14, my son was 11, and I can remember filming them on camera as we walked away from the White House. I said, "Where have we been?" And they're like, "We've been to see the president. We've been to see the president." It was great. It was a moment that I don't think anyone in our family will ever forget.
Campbell is out, trying to steal second base. Matt Liuzza guns him down. Second out here in the seventh. And a one hopper handled by Nakarada. Campbell also caught stealing after his first base hit back in inning number 2. Gardner grounds out. They go 1-2-3 as it turns out in the 7th inning. LSU has 3 more innings to work with, down 4.
Even as a kid, I believed in giving people more for their money. I'm Roger Riney. I started Scottrade to take care of online investors like nobody else. With $7 trades, no transaction fees on thousands of mutual funds, and offices nationwide. Click, call, or stop by Scottrade today.
At Progressive, we think car insurance claims should be easy. That's why we assign you a dedicated claims representative to help you from start to finish, so you always know what's going on with your claim. We even guarantee repairs for as long as you own your car. For over 65 years, we've been changing the way people think about car insurance with great rates and personal helpful claim service. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Think easier. Think Progressive.
College World Series, something you could feel, smell, and definitely taste if you go to the right places. Not hard at all to leave with a real full stomach. LSU in the 7th inning, 3, 4, 5 hitters try to get something started, down 4. 1-1 to Blake Gill, then John Zarang and Ivan Nakarada.
Are you talking about
Thinly veiled reference. Your favorite food. No one's brought up a bite yet today.
I'm going to have some today.
Disappointed.
I'm going to have some today.
Aaron Rawl up to 120 pitches.
He's all right. This cat's pitching great.
Weak grounder right back to him. Hill now 2 for 4. Tonight, more Major League Baseball with an American League Central clash on ESPN. 8 Eastern, the Cleveland Indians visit the Chicago White Sox. Some of you may see Pittsburgh at Houston. Indians and the Sox. Chicago battling for the division lead with Minnesota. Tonight, 8 Eastern, John Zarang looks at a strike. South Carolina trying to eliminate LSU for the 2nd year in a row. Much different game last year, 11-10 Gamecocks. Chad Blackwell getting ready when called on. John Zarang with his 2nd hit. Aboard with 1 out for Nakarada.
Well, this is the one thing that LSU has got to do. They've got to string some hits together, stay away from the double play, get the ball into the outfield, and put the ball in play with some regularity, especially right here in the middle of this lineup. They've got to make something happen right now because Rawl is getting a little bit tired. The ball's starting to get up a little bit. They've got to make it happen now.
Ivan Nakarada from Quebec, Canada. Chipola Junior College in Florida, a member of the Canadian national team last year. Fluent in 4 languages, of course, English and French. Italian, nod to his father, and Slovenian, nod to his mother. He can speak all 4. And I guess Cajun, that's required that year. Drafted twice, 40th.
Did you just say
Everybody
Cajun?
does.
Come on,
Everybody does. It's not much of a revelation there. All the LSU people playing. Maybe playable for Triplett, over for a look. Not quite. 2nd row.
I don't think I've ever heard of a language called Cajun.
Come on, you played in the SEC and you never heard Cajun.
I've heard Cajun accent, but I've never heard of a language called Cajun.
Real thick Cajun accent. Sometimes it's
a little French Creole.
Sometimes it's bordering on its own language at the very least. Nakarada down on strikes, 1 for 4, 2 outs in the 7th. Nick Stavinaugh, the DH now, 0 for 3. Jerry Myers is going to have a word with Rawl first, the Carolina pitching coach.
I think all Myers is doing right now is checking with Aaron Rawl just to see how he's feeling, making sure that he's all right, giving some time for Blackwell down there to make sure that he's loose. I'll tell you this, Aaron Rawl has pitched one heck of a ball game today, especially having to sit out in that long inning and then coming back 3 up, 3 down after he seemed like he sat over there for an hour. They're going to make the move.
He's at 129 pitches, 3 runs on 11 hits. None of them, however, have been for extra bases.
I believe I'd stand up and clap for this young man.
Only 1 walk, and it was to the first man he faced. So in his 3rd trip to Omaha, Aaron Rawl leads after 6 2/3, ahead 7-3. And all he can to keep the Gamecocks here to battle another day. Chad Blackwell is on. When we return, we'll see him go to work.
Today, you're a super painter with the amazing Wagner Wide Shot Power Painter. Fast and neat. It lets you paint up to 12 inches wide in one pass. The Power Painter. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
At Mala Properties, real estate is our way of life. Our family has been in the business of selling, building, or renting homes for over 30 years. We're all natives of Somerville, so we not only live in this town, we love it. We understand that choosing your home is one of the most important decisions in your life. And our family is committed to your family. So come home to Somerville. Come see us at Mala Properties.
This is the house that you built. This is the plan for building the house that you built. This is the hat that sat on your head to work with the plan for building the house that you built. This is the consultant that gave you the hat that sat on your head to work with the plans for building the house that you built. This is the money that stayed in the bank by using the consultant that gave you the hat that sat on your head to work with the plans for building the house that you built. You build it. It's as simple as a nursery rhyme. We show you how to build or remodel the castle of your dreams, saving you a pocket full of gold. Visit You Build It today.
Once again, a look from high top to dome over at the zoo from the Monster.com cam. What's going on inside Rosenblatt Stadium is a pitching change after a really gutsy almost 7-inning performance by the starter, Aaron Rawl. For the 36th time this year, Chad Blackwell into the game. 19 of the team's 23 saves.
Look at those numbers, 74 strikeouts in 58 innings and only 13 walks. I believe Chad Blackwell means business when he's coming into the ball game.
They actually said they felt comfortable if they had to bring him in the 5th inning today. Going 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Solid for at least 3, and he won't have to go 3 if he does his job here. Stavinoff 0 for 3. In the 10-game winning streak that Carolina brought here to Omaha, Blackwell had figured in 9 of those 10 wins, saved 8 of them, and he got a win in the 9th. And he doesn't waste any time getting up on Stavinoff. 0-2. Zarang at first with 2 outs. And it gets away from Powell. Plenty of time to make the throw. It's on the money. So Blackwell with the strikeout to end the 7th inning. And LSU, the top hitting team in the SEC, still limited to 3 runs, and they're down to their last 6 outs.
Today, you're a super painter with the Wagner Paint Crew. It's built for big jobs with an extra long hose that gives you the reach you need. The innovative Paint Crew. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
breakfast variety. Sonic's got it, others don't. Stop by Sonic this morning and start your day off with any of our delicious one-of-a-kind breakfast items. And make Sonic your morning drink stop where you'll find thousands of drink flavor combinations. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
There are two sides to me. The all-conference catcher side, that's my tough side. And the side of me studying for a career in marine mammal rescue, that's my soft side. I'm finding I really need both sides to be the whole person that I want to be.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Well, we started under a bright blue sky, then we got rain, we had a little more wind, and it's right back to the same way we started. 12 hits, all singles, enough for Carolina. They had that wild 6-run with 2 out, 4 unearned, 6th inning. The Tigers have managed 11 hits, but nothing for extra bases yet. 7, 8, 9 hitters doing their part. Carolina starts with its number 9 hitter, the center fielder Davey Gregg, here in the 8th inning. At 6th inning, Jeff took 43 pitches. And Lane Mestepe, the starter, had thrown 55 in the first 5 innings combined.
43 pitches or 43 minutes?
Maybe both. A line drive single by Gregg, his first hit. And then Faircloth, in his first full inning, the 6th, got out of it in 8 pitches. Ryan Triplett, the leadoff hitter today, 1 for 3, has scored twice, including one of the 6th inning runs after he walked.
Well, having watched LSU in the mini College World Series they've been in, you better keep hitting the ball right now if you're South Carolina. Just try to keep your foot on the accelerator.
Although they have the men they want in the game now, Blackwell. This LSU team led the SEC in hitting and homers. Mariuza calling Faircloth on the bunt, and is throwing just in time.
Good job by Liuza right here, making sure that he uses his mouth to make sure he is the one that gets that ball. He's going towards the first base bag. He's the one that's supposed to make that play.
But the Gamecocks have Gregg in scoring position. 4-run lead can still disappear on one swing. They really want to get it to 5 here. Steven Tollison, a sacrifice and 2 singles.
Dusty Baker loves to say, let's get him out of slam range.
You got some guys who can hit the slam.
Manager of the Chicago Cubs.
Rematch of the regular season best of 3 months ago in Columbia, where the Tigers won 2 out of 3. Rawl, who got the only win in that series, stands to get the win here. Carolina won the SEC tournament for the first time in a sweep. Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Vanderbilt. Swept the regional in Columbia, swept the super regional round as well. After the loss to Cal State Fullerton, 10 of 11 coming in, 18 of their last 21, 50 and 16. With 2 of those 16 losses to the Tigers. Tollison will take first with the second walk issued by Jordan Faircloth. And Steve Pierce will be the batter here in the top of the 8th. Day 4, elimination game number 2 in the College World Series. Dave Barnett, Jeff Brantley, Kyle Peterson working the dugouts for us today. He had his hands full trying to run down everything that happened in that 6th, which featured 4 unearned runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, bases left loaded, all with 2 outs. And turned this thing completely around. LSU led 3-1. And they, by all rights, should have had the 3rd out of that inning. By the time they were finally out of it, 43 pitches later, Faircloth was in the game, and they were looking at a 4-run deficit.
The biggest thing that Faircloth wants to do right here is get a ground ball up the middle and see if he can't get a double play, get out of the inning, and get LSU back to swinging the bats, because they are running out of time rapidly.
Good chance it's his last go round. Powell on deck likewise. First hit batter we've seen today, and it loads him up. First couple of days we were on a record pace of hit batsmen, but they stayed away from it until now. That gets the pitching coach out, Brady Wiederhold, and it'll get Justin Meyer in the game. Meyer, a right-hander, will come on to face the All-American catcher Landon Powell. All this because of what happened in that crazy 6th inning. First of all, what was ruled an infield single, Steve Pierce got aboard. LSU argued maybe that should have been an automatic double play for the contact at second. And then this play, which was first called safe and ejected. Bob Homolka, the home plate umpire, first said Kevin Melillo was going to have to join his mustache out on the sideline. After about a 10-minute conference, he reconsidered. Throwing error at first by Will Harris. Another error. The pitcher Faircloth brought home yet another run, triplet scoring, to wrap up the 6-run craziness. Finally, they left the bases loaded, kept it at 7-3.
Well, the bottom line is they got the call right and kept Melillo in the ballgame. Justin Meyer in the ballgame. Normally, their number 3 starter. And talking to Smoke Laval today, the only way that Meyer was going to get in this ballgame is if it was of dire need. Well, guess what? We're in the 7th inning. They're down by 4. It's dire need. They have got to have somebody come in and shut the door, shut down South Carolina. They can't afford to give up any more runs right here. He's got to come in and shut the door and give them an opportunity offensively to put some runs back on the board and try to get back in this ballgame.
Meyer, a sophomore from Windermere, Florida. Freshman All-America last year. And he inherits big-time trouble. Gregg after a single down at 3rd. Tolleson at 2nd after a walk. Pierce took one on the hip. He's at 1st. And it's ball 1 to Landon Powell, who is singled. Last time up walked.
This will be a heck of a time for Landon Powell to bust out of his hidden slump right here.
Two for his last 27.
That would be a something.
Well, he did it in this very situation, the elimination game last year. Won by Carolina 11-10. It gets through. Liuza. And another run is home. Davy Gregg scoring to give them that 5-run lead, 8-3.
See this pitch, it looks like a split finger or some type of off-speed pitch that just gets way to the left of Liuza. I don't even think there was any chance of sliding his body over to try to block that at all.
Missing outside as well. 3-1. No ruling yet. Got to be a wild pitch. And it is. Meyer, one pitch away from putting Powell on to load him up again with one out. So it'll again fall to Melillo. Seems like every key moment has had Melillo involved. Somewhere to go. He's 2 for 4 today. He's twice flied to left. So here in the inning, a single, 2 walks, a hit batsman, a sacrifice, and a wild pitch. And a 5-run lead. Melillo swings through that one. 5th round pick of the Oakland A's. Here for the 3rd straight year, playing in his 11th game on the field at Rosenblatt.
Well, Myers really having trouble getting that ball back towards home plate. Everything that he's missing is over in the right-handed batter's box. He's got to make that adjustment and make it now. He's no time to be messing around.
Into short left. Patterson coming on. To dive. Still can't get it. Wynn knocked it flat down, and Collison scores. Pierce to third on the bloop by Melillo.
If there's anything else in this ball game that we haven't seen, I don't want to see it. Goodness gracious, look at that wind blow that ball all the way back in. Patterson diving, trying to catch that ball. That looked like a routine pop-up into left field, and the wind blows it all the way back to where Blake Gill could have caught that ball.
Now Brandon Wynn. When we've talked about the wind in Omaha,
we're not playing.
95% of the time we're talking about a routine fly ball that becomes a home run, not a bloop single in front of a diving outfielder. Nothing's flying out today.
Well, there's no place for Meyer to put anybody right now. Wynn, Campbell, it doesn't matter. You got to get some strikes.
How about 25 singles? There's a strike. Have you ever seen a game?
No.
I'll challenge you all the way back to T-ball.
No.
25 singles and that's it. 12 runs.
I didn't play T-ball. They moved me straight up to coach.
Hadn't invented it yet, had they? 3-1. You were one of those kids that nobody wanted to bat against even back then? Yeah, for sure. But bootlegger wasn't.
My dad was.
Had a little something to do with it, baby. Full count now to Win. Looking for his first hit. Struck out twice. Walked and had one of the runs in the 6th.
Boy, does Meyer need a strike right here.
Another bloop. Trouble again. Gill back. Can't make the over-the-shoulder grab. And Pierce will score. And the bloop fest continues in Omaha. Absolutely unique. We have never seen a game like this in this park.
He hits this ball right off of his knuckles. He hits it far enough to get it past Blake Gill, but doesn't hit it far enough to get it anywhere near any of the outfielders.
So why aren't they playing more shallow than they are? They're still out there about like with no win.
Well, they're moving in slowly but surely, but my goodness.
Almost time to go to the 7-man infield. They challenged the Wood yet at all out there in the outfield. A bouncer past Harris, out into right. And the onslaught continues. 2 more home, and it's a 12-3 lead. For the 4th straight Game 2 in the College World Series, double figures for the Gamecocks. That's going to be ruled an error on Will Harris. Pretty tough error, too. But it gets Powell home, and Melillo behind it. Win to third. The second time in the last 3 innings South Carolina has batted around is Nick Gardner, the number 9 hitter in the inning. Looks at ball 2. Gamecocks down 3-1 in the 6th, get 6 that inning, and they've added another 5 here in the 8th.
And they're not done.
Still only 1 out. All the runs of the 6th scored with 2 out. This damage in search of the second. Meyer has not been able to get anything going out of the mound. A 4-pitch walk to Gardner. Bases load up again. Meyer with his second walk. He's given up the 2 bloop singles in the air. So by his rights, he's served up 3 pitches that should have been turned into outs.
Well, he didn't make really many adjustments at all out there. Every pitch that he threw was way on the inside part of the plate. I don't even think I saw him throw 1 breaking ball, and if he did, it didn't do anything.
It's going to be all for Justin, and Clay Dirks will come in from the left-hand side. See if that makes any difference.
Once in a while, an entertainer comes along who's not afraid to take risks.
You're hurting Paul Malone now. You're hurting him.
Just another reason why he's a man of the people.
Thank you.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, late nights.
I'm Jimmy.
Time for a better movie experience. Time for eye control movies that you can instantly start, pause, and rewind whenever you want. Only with Time Warner Digital Cable. Now anything's possible.
Tired of hiding your car in the back of the parking lot? Do you want to update your ride? Take it to the Show Zone, a complete full-service high-performance facility that will transform your vehicle into a dream ride. The Show Zone has a complete line of accessories for your car and truck, interior and exterior, featuring AEM, Sparco, DC Sports, Momo, and hundreds more. The Show Zone does custom paint and bodywork, custom interior, and more. Keep up with the competition, get it painted, chrome it out, beef up the suspension, and customize your interior. The Show Zone, a full-service high-performance facility, 4181 Latson Road.
The 4th LSU pitcher of the day is on. The 3rd of the inning. And this turnaround in LSU's fate not going to be met very happily back in Baton Rouge. No one hates it worse than Smoke Laval, but after the 5 championships from 91 through 2000 now, this has them on the verge of their 2nd straight 2-0.
Well, I can assure you that those 1,000 Winnebagos that are lined up down there behind the left center field seats where all of the LSU faithful gather, they're going to be talking about 0-4 in 2 years at Omaha. And that's not a good thing.
Redshirt freshman Clay Dirks out of Hernando, Mississippi.
That's what I'm talking about. I bet he throws strikes.
Some parking lot space that's about to open up. Dirks, a member of the freshman All-SEC team and freshman All-America. 17.1 consecutive innings without an earned run in a 3-game stretch early in the year.
Mississippi boy.
Hernando. Up the middle. Maybe 2. Not quite in time for the double up. Greg reaches. As Brendan Wynn scores the 6th run of the 8th. Gardner down at 3rd. 13-3. This was an 11-10 game last year. Thrilling. Zarang starting back. This one stays where he thought it would be. But the inning is finally over. Carolina bats around for the 2nd time today, and they put this thing out of reach.
In the all-new Saab 92X, the road seems a whole lot stickier. Tenacious all-wheel drive handling, road blistering performance, and unlimited servings of G-force. The all-new, all-wheel drive Saab 92X, starting under $23,000 MSRP.
On the job site, I have to take on all the tough jobs and get them done right. So I use more than a tool. I use the RotoZip spiral saw system. Cuts plywood, cuts drywall, cuts countertops, tile, almost anything, with quick, clean cuts every time. And with the all-new features, the original RotoZip just got tougher. RotoZip, tough enough to tackle any job.
Rain-X Car Wax not only shines your car, it protects it from Mother Nature. In fact, there's nothing Mother Nature can do to harm it. Well, almost nothing. Rain-X's transparent polymer repels rain, dirt, and absorbs UV rays. Rain-X Car Wax, protection you can see.
NCAA Championships on ESPN2. The College World Series is brought to you by Haagen-Dazs. Ice cream crafted from the world's finest ingredients. Haagen-Dazs, made like no other. And Playmakers, the complete series on DVD. Available now.
Back here at Omaha, Rosenblatt Stadium. The second 6-run inning in the last 3 innings put on the board by the Gamecocks. They have a 10-run lead as we check in down below with Kyle Peterson.
Yeah, guys, we talk about that 10-run lead. And Ray Tanner now has a decision to make. Chad Blackwell has been his all-SEC closer the entire year. If he pitches the rest of this ballgame, that'll be 2 1/3. South Carolina comes back tomorrow. Blackwell's been so important to this ball club over the course of the year. Got to see. Does Tanner think it's that important to keep him in right now? Risk the fact that he can't throw tomorrow, or will he get him out of there after here in the 8th?
Well, I think at this point, to be honest with you, Kyle, I think that they're going to stick with him and try to win this ball game without any problems where it looks like they're winning going away. Because according to Tanner, this guy, he seems to think this guy could pitch every single day and go out there and pitch 4 or 5 innings every single day. I don't know if he's got that kind of arm, but it sure looks like it from right here.
He's faced 2 batters. He struck them both out. Nothing but BB so far from Blackwell. Stabenow to end the 7th. Liuzza to begin the 8th. But Kyle raises a pretty good point because
he's definitely right.
This thing always comes down to pitching depth. And you have a 10-run lead out there. Yeah, you want this game to end as quickly as you can, but you're telling me with the entirety of the staff now you can't get 5 outs with the other guys. It always comes back to the fact that no one knows the pitcher better than the people who have directed them all year, their entire careers. In this case, Jerry Myers, the pitching coach, and Ray Tanner, his boss, and they have Blackwell out there. That should have been out number 2. It gets through Brian Triplett. That's the easy half of the scoreboard. There you go. Now you get to the South Carolina side, and then you've got the challenge. 4 games since the 2000 national championship for the LSU Tigers. You're not going to believe the pitching numbers. Will Harris follows with a base hit. Since that 2000 title, 4 games, LSU pitching has given up 40 runs. 9 in the first game here by Miami. 13 today. Carolina's not yet finished. So they bring all the offense in the world, but you see it all the time at the next level. Teams that can hit but can't pitch don't even usually get to the postseason. If they get there, they don't last long. Their leading hitter, J.C. Holt, has his first base hit. 3 straight singles have loaded the bases against the best the Gamecocks have out of the bullpen. And we go from talking about can you afford to pull Blackwell and get him rest. We're up now to 28 hits, all singles. Now the question turns into can Blackwell get out of the bases loaded, nobody out. The game's not in jeopardy, but he's throwing every pitch he throws at this point may be something that he's not able to do from here on out in Omaha. We're a couple of grand slams away from things being really nervous for Ray Tanner, but they are coming out of the losers bracket. Winner plays the loser of Miami, Cal State, Fullerton, and then they got to come back and they get a couple more before they can take their place in that best 2 out of 3. Kyle.
JB, you've closed out plenty of ball games in your career. Blackwell came into this game. It was a 7-3 game. Now it's a 13-3 game. As a closer, so used to tight situations. You think there's a chance his mentality changes a little bit now in a 10-run game?
I think that it does, but at this point now with the bases loaded, I think his mentality is going back the other way. But if I'm Ray Tanner, the reason that I'm leaving Blackwell in this ball game is I want my club to leave this field today feeling good about a victory.
Liner falls in front of Greg. 4 straight base hits. Clay Harris scores. So at least the Tigers, if they're going today, are going to get some blows in. Ryan Patterson, who was 0 for 3, gets the RBI. His team leading 66th. Still only 1 out. Double play ball off the bat of Gill. And just like that, Blackwell chokes off the inning. Tigers at least get a few good swings in. They string together 4 straight singles. We've still seen nothing but.
Even as a kid, I believed in giving people more for their money. I'm Roger Riney. I started Scottrade to take care of online investors like nobody else. With $7 trades, no transaction fees on thousands of mutual funds, and offices nationwide. Click, call, or stop by Scottrade today.
Assurance in rain means Goodyear's deeply carved aqua chutes propel water away from your tread. Assurance on ice means Goodyear's interlocking treads deliver gripping power. Assurance on dry pavement means Goodyear's reinforced shoulders give you confident maneuvering. The revolutionary new Goodyear Assurance with triple tread technology for assurance in any weather on the wings of Goodyear.
13-4 South Carolina as we move to the 9th. And we take a look at our Pontiac high performance moment. Back to the 6-run sixth for the Gamecocks. And the collision at the plate between Kevin Melillo and Matt Liuzza first ruled an ejection by home plate umpire Bob Homolka, and then after about a 10-minute consultation, reversed. And Melillo allowed to stay in the game. Took a lot of talk, but they did finally get that call right.
Well, it didn't look high performance for a minute there, but they got it right after a while. That's the bottom line.
Back to the last inning as Clay Dirks throws the first pitch of the 9th. The ball off the bat of Clay Harris, an error on the third baseman. So 3 hits and an error involved in that run scored by LSU. Dirks working to Tollison. Single twice. Sacrifice, driven in a run, and scored. 13 Carolina runs, 7 unearned. That's a long way out there to the gap. And digging for 2 is Tollison. He's got a leadoff double.
That ball's got to be caught.
After 29 singles, our first extra base hit.
That ball's got to be caught right there, and you can see left fielder break off, expecting the center fielder to take the ball. You've got to have a little bit better communication than that, especially with the wind blowing the ball in and the ball holding up the way that it was. This has not been a good day for LSU. That's the understatement of the world.
Clay Dirks. Running to get Pierce, Powell, and Melillo here. Power 3, 4, 5 part of the order. And get it back to his hitters and hope for a miracle in the bottom half of the 9th. The SEC West has been outscored here in Omaha 42-13. Arkansas lost Texas 13-2. And 7-2 to Arizona. LSU lost 9-5 to Miami. And down 13-4 here. So if you break it up, that's how SC fans look at it. They have a little East versus West pride. Even though the conference in its entirety, for having provided half the field, isn't holding its head real high. The East can say, well, at least Georgia got a win. Georgia knocked off Arizona the first game of this 2004 College World Series. 13-4 here, South Carolina trying to eliminate the LSU Tigers and give them an 0-2. Quick departure for the second year in a row. Gamecocks have had a pair of 6-run innings, the 6th and the 8th. 7 of their runs unearned on 3 errors by LSU.
And the ground ball here is short.
Stephen Tollison down at third base now after ending a string of 29 straight singles. And another single off the bat of Pierce. Another run home for the Gamecocks. And they're back to a double-digit lead.
You could hear Ray Tanner hollering from the dugout. Hit a ground ball and get the run in. Let's go. Not only did he hit a ground ball, he got a knock.
His 4th. He's 4 for 5. 2 runs batted in. He scored when he reached after being hit back in the 8th inning. Landon Powell, the catcher, managed to hit today. Not much to look at. It was an infield one hopper, but he scored twice and walked twice. swinging away at 2 balls and no strikes right through it.
Well, you can see Landon Powell really pulling off the baseball, not only from the right side, but from the left side. Just trying to hit the ball too hard. You've got to think the other way. When Powell's thinking the other way, he hits the ball a whole heck of a lot better than what he's doing right now.
Tried to there. Behind it, and it's 2-2.
You can't come to the plate thinking home run. You can't do it. You're going to be out front. You're going to hit the ball off the end of the bat, or you're going to be fooled by a breaking ball. Rhythm and balance. It doesn't matter if you're pitching or if you're catching the baseball or if you're hitting the baseball. You got to do it.
South Carolina has got to figure out a way to take the mentality that they bring into the second game and play the opening round in Omaha the same way.
Well, it's too late for that this time. They better play like they did today.
Shut out in 85 in the opener. They came back with 11 against Oklahoma State in game 2. Shutouts in 02. 10 against Georgia Tech in game 2. Shutout last year. 10 against Stanford in game 2. And 14 against LSU today.
Whatever their pregame meal is before day 1, they need to shut that down.
Line drive and a single. Powell gets his best swing of the tournament so far. And moves Pierce to second. Still nobody out of the ninth. Don't forget tonight, Cal State Fullerton and Miami here on ESPN2 with the winner in great shape to sit back and watch everybody else in the bracket beat up on one another. Matchup of 2 more great catchers we've seen gathered here in Omaha. Kurt Suzuki, who made the All-American teams that Landon Powell didn't for Cal State Fullerton, and Miami's Eric San Pedro. Both high major league picks. Both in action beginning at 7 Eastern tonight.
I like that San Pedro. That kid has got a cannon behind the plate. You never know if you take 1 inch extra lead off of him, he's liable to pick you off.
And Suzuki hitting way over 400. Best hitting catcher there.
He's probably got the most energy of any baseball player I've seen in a long time.
Well, and tonight he's Jim Morrison, Miami's problem. All at a strike. Lillo takes 2-1. Multiple hit days for Pierce with 4, Powell with 2. Melillo already has 3.
You know, and you were talking about how hard Landon Powell hit that ball. And if South Carolina is going to do anything in this tournament, a lot of that is going to depend on him. He has got to get his confidence back at the plate. He's got to get his balance back. If he can swing the bat the way he did in that last AB, they boys may be able to just jump on his back and let him carry him.
Chopper through on the right side. 4th hit today by Melillo. He and Pierce each with 4. The throw gets away and another run comes home. Boy, this has just been a falling apart exhibition by LSU since things started to unravel in the 6th. They've completed the process in the 8th and 9th. Zarang's throw off the mid of Will Harris. And we'll have another pitching change, and LSU revving up the bus as we get an all-access look at their colorful bus driver, Big Jim.
Yeah, this is LSU bus. We're on our way to the stadium. Crank it if you want. I'm Jim Williams. I've driven LSU for about 5 years. Hey, fellas, I gotta put my jam on.
He's gotta put his jam on. Get it going, Jim.
Okay. Okay, now you heard your national anthem. Let's go out there and kick some ass, all right? I used to tell them, aim for the interstate. We want to hit somebody's windshield out there, you know? Rosenblast, man, not Rosenblatt.
World Series without Big Jim just wouldn't be the same.
You got kids that's playing ball all year long. That's all they dreaming about, you know? They get a championship ring. And then now you're going to give one to a bus driver? He said, well, we voted on it, that we think you should get it because you raise the team's morale when they get there. We just have fun.
Too bad he's not going to have any more work after today. Barring a miracle.
I like the tape, though. If I can get a copy of it.
That's all you got out of that? The music? What about Big Jim?
Music, man.
Michael Bonura's 15th appearance. Will Harris in this inning charged with his 3rd error of the day. He had 5 for the year coming in. So 2 more runs with nobody out. Powell down at 3rd. Melillo is at 1st. No RBI on his 4th single. Sudden death 7 ball coming up next here on ESPN2. And then less than 2 hours away now, Miami Cal State Fullerton at 7 Eastern. Michael Bonura is a true freshman. They figure to be a big part of things in the future of their program. Business major. 2-2 count to Brendan Wynn. RBI single his last time. So you've seen everybody now.
Texas.
And we still say it comes down to who's got the most pitchers. You have some teams that will admit readily, we really don't have a bullpen. We're rolling and hoping. As good as the starting pitching was the other day for Cal State Fullerton, they have to have that pretty much every time out. They'll be the first to admit that. LSU, with all their offense, didn't bring enough pitching again this year to Omaha. The only team that seems to have pitching in excess is Texas. Called strike 3. Wynn is the first out here in the 9th inning.
Well, I think when you look at this Texas ball club, not only have you got some good starters with J.P. Howell, Sam LeCure, Justin Simmons. You bring Jay Brent Cox out of the bullpen, and you know how Texas is going to play early. They're going to bunt. They're going to try to move the ball around, try to take advantage of some quick runs early, try to make mistakes offensively or defensively. And then they've got the automatic Mr. Houston Street at the end of the ball game.
Michael Campbell pops out number 2. I was about to say you went through about a 1-minute rundown and you didn't even mention Houston Street.
That's what I'm saying. They got a lot of pitching, and these guys can swing the bat. I mean, how much hotter can you get than Curtis Thigpen is right now?
So now 2 outs for Nick Gardner. 2-run single in the 6th. His major contribution. Over toward the tarp. Will Harris, he looked away. And I think if he doesn't, he makes that catch.
I think Will's struggling a little bit today.
Man. 3 errors. Shaking his head after a playable pop up that went right on the railing down the first base line beyond the tarp. Lira showing a good breaking ball. 0-2.
I mean, when you talk about Texas, I mean, there's no secret that Augie Garrido has won as many games as he has. It's the formula that he puts together.
Gardner strikes out. Bonura strikes out 2. It's all 3 outs here in the 9th, but 2 more insurance runs score for the Gamecocks. Tigers down to their last 3 outs in Omaha.
Over 8 million drivers feel really good riding with Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hey, there are lots of shave gels, and they're all full of soap. And soap can leave your skin dry and irritated. Introducing Gillette Complete Multi-Gel, the only shave gel without soap, so it won't dry out your skin. Closeness, comfort, and skincare in one shave gel. Healthy-looking, smoother-feeling skin in 14 days or your money back. This is more than shave gel. This is skincare for a man. Gillette Complete Multi-Gel, the best a man can get. Finally, a travel rewards program you can get excited about. Introducing Trip Rewards. Earn points when you stay at Days Inn, the best value under the sun. And the rewards? You're gonna love the amazing selection. Sign up now at daysinn.com. Trip Rewards. It's fun to get more.
Out of these 15 runs for South Carolina, a lot of them have been courtesy of LSU gifts. They should be thankful for 7 unearned runs as we flesh out the bracket picture now. Arizona, Georgia coming up. That's our afternoon matchup tomorrow, 2 Eastern. Arizona sent Arkansas home yesterday. Texas sitting pretty at 2-0. South Carolina about to send LSU back to Baton Rouge. Tonight, 7 Eastern, Miami and Cal State Fullerton, and the winner there will be in great shape. So Augie Garrido said now it's about buying yourself 2 extra days of rest. And winning their second game, they got themselves 1 extra day. So they not only have the best, deepest pitching staff to begin with, now it's about having all of them rested to get to that 2 out of 3 championship final. Zarang, Nakarada, Stavinaugh. Last 3 hopes for LSU.
Well, last chance at the OK Corral right here. Look at that break. You know, the one thing that you really want to have, and I think that's part of the reason that this man is still in the ball game, is simply just to keep him sharp and to keep him going.
Zarang strikes out. Blackwell's 3rd. Smoke Laval, big part of Skip Bertman's success, an assistant for him 10 years, including the 91 to 93 national champions.
Well, the one thing that Smoke cannot do is he can't go out there and pitch for his team. This ball club has swung the bats well. They've done a lot of good things, but he can't pitch for them.
Nakarada with his second base hit of the day. Smoke about to go 0-4 in Omaha as the head coach in his 3rd year.
Think they'll be talking about that after the game today?
That'll be a major topic back in Baton Rouge. And the topic broken down more specifically will be how do we get some arms here? We got the bats. They need some help.
It's going to be a major topic in that parking lot out there.
24 runs given up to Miami and South Carolina. Pinch hitter now, Dustin Weaver, a junior, will hit for Stavinaugh. The Gamecocks now, what's their picture like? They need to beat the loser of tonight's game, either Cal State Fullerton or Miami, tomorrow. Then they come back and they have to beat the winner of tonight's game twice, Wednesday and Thursday. They have done that just 2 years ago. It's a hard road, but it is not impossible.
Well, it's definitely it's never easy coming back through the losers bracket, but they do have some pitching. South Carolina's got some pitching. They've got some guys that have some experience. We know obviously that they can swing the bats in 15 runs today. especially after that first ball game. Once they get the first one out of the way, they're usually all right.
Remember, too, Ray Tanner's team trailed 3-1 in the 6th of this thing. Left field, Campbell started back. Now he can't get the other way in time. Off the bat, in any other year, that's a home run.
That ball is in the yellow seats any other year. Did you see Campbell break back? I mean, he broke almost 4 steps back, and that ball landed. Watch this ball right here. This ball is absolutely tagged. He's almost at the warning track, and now look how far he's got to come.
And he doesn't even get close.
Now, that ball's not misjudged. That just shows you how hard the wind's blowing here, blowing from left field to right field.
He's still walking in. He doesn't want to see that happen again. So I think a little more than the LSU outfielders now, the Gamecock outfielders are making the adjustment to getting in more shallow before anything is hit. Because you cannot read it off the bat today. You have to ignore that. Off the bat is telling you lies. 2-1 count to Liuzza.
I mean, that ball wasn't hit on the label. That ball was hit right on the fat part of the back.
This game was 3-1 in the 6th. LSU thinking they had control of things. Gamecocks in the 6th score 6, 4 unearned on 5 hits, 2 errors, and they leave the bases loaded. All of that with 2 outs. They come back with 6 more in the 8th on 3 hits, an error. And just for good measure, they tack on 2 more on 4 hits, including the only extra base hit of the day in the ninth. Liuzza out number 2. He almost runs out of the camera going back on what he thinks he might have a chance to get against the wall off the bat of Dustin Weaver. Any other year he does. Any other year it's either a home run or it's a leaping grab up against the wall. The Gamecocks now are going to let Blackwell give way to Cliff Donald to get the ceremonial final out. Donald, the junior from Anderson, South Carolina. Hasn't had a chance to take card yet, so Ray Tanner gets him in.
You know, the thing about this ballpark, Dave, is you never know where those flags are going to be blown. If the weather changes, those flags could blow just as easily out as they can in, and we know what happens when those flags blow out. Runs are scored at an alarming rate.
That makes it more remarkable that Carolina got 15 with one blowing in, more than it ever has, at least in the last 4 years. 22nd appearance for Donald. It's an outstanding year. Look at that. 7 walks to 36 strikeouts.
Well, I think that's part of the reason that Ray Tanner's putting him in the ballgame right here, just for an inning or just for 1 out. Simply to get his feet wet. He can say that he's been in the World Series, and tomorrow or the next day when he comes in, he'll be familiar with the mound. He won't be so nervous. It won't be a new experience for him, and he'll feel a lot better about being out there.
More action from Omaha. 7 Eastern tonight, ESPN2. The winners bracket matchup. Cal State Fullerton's Titans, Miami's Hurricanes. They combined for 34 College World Series appearances and 7 national championships between the two. The Titans and the Hurricanes in about an hour and 40 minutes. Don't go too far. You saw what the #1 starter for those two could do. Windsor strikes out 14, 3-hit complete game shutout, first in 10 years in the College World Series. Cesar Carrillo, after a rocky start, holds LSU to 2 hits.
And JD,
third inning on.
JD got knows exactly what he's doing for the Miami Hurricanes. He's been here before. He knows how to pitch. Not a high velocity pitcher, but this guy can get outs and he can get them out quickly.
2-1 to Clay Harris. So from 3-1 down to 15-4 up with 14 of the 15 runs scoring from the 6th inning on. The faucet finally opened and it was flowing full. LSU couldn't find the off button.
Faucet, that was a fire hydrant.
It was a gusher. Spindletop. Well, Donald walks Clay Harris to load the bases for Will Harris.
Well, that's why Donald is in this ball game. Get all these jitters out of the way right now where they don't hurt the South Carolina Gamecocks. That way when he comes back, all of that nervousness and all of that adrenaline pumping will be gone.
To say the least, Will has had a mixed bag today. He's 3 for 4. He scored to make it 3-1 back in the 4th, but he's also committed 3 of the 4 LSU errors. Had only 5 all year coming in. The Tigers' lone grand slam was his way back more than 3 months ago. And now Donald and the Gamecocks 1 strike away from sending LSU home. Is their custom in game 2, and they will play another day here in Omaha as LSU sees the dreaded 2 barbecue swept out for the 2nd straight year. So South Carolina now ready to see who takes on the Gamecocks tomorrow night at 7 Eastern. Miami and Cal State Fullerton coming up in a little over an hour and a half. Arizona, Georgia, our afternoon matchup tomorrow at 2 Eastern, with Texas sitting atop the first bracket with 2 wins already. 15-4 South Carolina with a pair of 6-run innings. Sudden death 7 ball coming up next for Jeff Brantley and our